Although he's not the slickest vulture to have ever picked a carcass, he's just the kind to catch us at our darkest for an easy harvest. Just the kind to serve us to the markets and see you lose your home before his donors let him bargain. Who'll give a cop the go-ahead to shoot you in the leg before they let you harm a target. Being an American, I love watching garbage, but it's overload. And this is not my first rodeo. I don't drop mics, but I choke slam podiums, and so we go. Little bit of Troy, a little Roanoke. Karma, come and hold me close. Tell me how you told me so. I'm overboard, blowing out. I'm holy ghosted, stolen shroud, soaked in old petroleum and calling down the rolling clouds. Slowly move my mouth and form the only sound I knew, and it was always out of tune, but it's the ugly fucking truth, and now it's flowing out. Break the banks, flood the basin. I transcribed a translation, spoke it out of Morse code and straight into capsaicin. And God, I hope it suits your station, cause it's my last release that won't require proof of vaccination. I got all my rates adjusted for infection and inflation, bloating and decay and all the perks of radiation.
Good.
We see the virus for the profits, not the
Right. How you doing?
Honey, look at all these records
I'm making sure you're framed right. You see me in up there in the corner, so that's my OBS.
Okay.
So that's
I only can move that so long because my wall is like right here.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm kind of like in a little bit of a quandary here. A little bit of a quandary here.
We're good there. You look good. You look good.
All right, great guys. It's good to be on your show again. Thank you for the invite.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, so
we're live. Oh crap! I think our audio might be live. Wait.
And he'll never see the tiny bit of irony that floats in all the tragedy of his position. And he's not the only one, it's an American tradition. So it goes, in endless perpetuity, we never deviated from the mission. I set out the ritual and listened from the sand, held my head between my hands and muttered dying would be easy, life's an everyday decision. And I'm not the only one, it's an American tradition. I'm not the only one, it's an American tradition. I bet you thought that Trump would go to jail and Joe would listen. You're not the only one, it's an American tradition. I bet you thought that Trump would go to jail and Joe would listen.
Sunday morning. Good morning, Sunday morning.
We're 40 Sunday mornings out from normal and the world is not the same. Situated for don't shine a light in my face.
Nancy gonna cut you a check too late. 2 years after your funeral's paid, 2 years after the grave, she'll be a little stronger for all of the dollars she saved. Watching you wake, watching you cling to your family slipping away. Watch her do nothing but pray. Watch her condemn the Republicans, take them to brunch and then shrug it away. Now watch us be outraged half of a day, then pick a new hero to face our leaders and think they could beat them, playing the game they played since Pelosi had real human blood in her veins. They're all one and the same, sold off stocks and they all maintain that the risk was benign and the virus was tame. Flash forward and 40 Sunday mornings fade, 250,000 people in its wake and the cruise ship sailed today. So motherfucker, don't shine a light in my face. Wait.
Good morning, Sunday morning. Good morning, Sunday morning.
We're 40 Sunday mornings out from normal and the world is not the same. Situated for a warning, but the warning never came.
to check out independentleft.news.
The Indie News Network.
Indie Left News.
Oh, hey, Indie Left.
Independentleft.news. Great work.
Indie Left News.
Independentleft.news.
Independent Left News.
Shout out to Independent Left News. Shout out. Oh, what's up, Independent Left? Friend show.
Thank you, independentleft.news.
The INN, Indie, you're wonderful.
I think Indie was onto something.
Independent News Network, Indie News. Yeah. What's up, Indie, over on Rockfin?
Independent News Network, also known as INN.
Indie Left News.
I don't know if I would have made it through that 3 weeks without Indie, honestly.
No, I was just going to ask Indie.
A huge thank you and shout out to Indie Left.
INN.
No, you know what we're doing? We're world building, Indie.
Indie Left News.
You were doing the INN recruiting.
Indie News.
Independent Left News.
Shout out to Independent Left News.
Check out Independent Left News.
At Indie News.
I see Indie's in the chat. Hi, Indie. Okay, great. Bye.
All right, we are live. Yay, we made it. We did the thing. We hit the buttons, and everybody's here. And it's 3 of us. How about that this week? And,
hey.
Hi, everybody.
Better than me. I would have had Kit called Indie. I would have had Indie called me.
Look at that. I had everybody in the right place, so that's good. Okay, bye. Yeah, that's right. That's right, Colin. That's Sabby saying bye to us already. That's pretty funny. Shout out to Joe. So yeah, we got a special guest, an Indie Media Award honoree. Let's do it. Come on, Reef. Hit it.
I gotta double the. There we go.
Yeah, we gotta double them up. We got Kit Cabello from Hardlands Media in the house, man. Like, this is only the second time he's been on Indie Left News. We did a Friends of Indie Left. Well, we did a Friends of Indie Left with Kit, and that was a year ago. Would you believe that was a year ago? You've been on INN a bunch.
Wait, really? Wow, I thought I've been on your show numerous times. I'm sorry. Oh my goodness.
No, we don't have guests very often, especially non-INN guests. So it's a pleasure to have you here. And we love. I wanted a newsman to help me read the news. Like this guy. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna gush a little bit because I love this guy a ton. But before we do that, let me do my little formal spiel, and we can kind of kick off, and I can introduce our guest properly and formally. So, and I got this guy sitting now he's still next to me. That's Reef up there. We're in a 3-box. For everyone listening on the podcast, we're sitting in a 3-box today. This is Kit Cabello from Hardlands Media. So, welcome everybody. Here. Welcome everybody to How Did We Miss That? How Did We Miss That? It's a show featuring articles written by independent journalists who expose corruption, cover workers' organizing, and environmental crises. We're going to talk about those today while challenging corporate establishment narratives and talking points, and we're definitely doing that tonight. New episodes streamed live Sunday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Rumble, Twitch, Rockfin, Substack. We're going to talk about Substack, Facebook, Telegram channels. The podcast usually published within a couple days on Amazon and Google, Spotify, and more. I'm Indie. I'm co-host, founder, editor of Indie Left News, which is going to be kind of going through a little transition in the next couple of weeks. And Indie Media Today Substack, Indie's Tech Tips exclusively on Rumble. And I got this guy next to me, Reef Breland. He is the INN technical director. Yep, technical director for INN, creator and host of INN News and Reefer After Dark. And he's got the bomb cam sitting next to him. Finally, we've got honored guest, Indie Media Award honoree Kit Cabello, host of Hardlands Media, communications director, co-founder, and friend of Jimmy Dore and the entire left. He's been covering, Hardlands to me is the only 5-day-a-week show, the 5-day-a-week news show that really covers news on the left every day. And we need them, we love them, and now we're doing it in the morning. So I'm excited to be a moderator. And we're gonna have that. That's gonna be we move to mornings, right?
Yeah. Well, so here's the situation. So obviously, I feel like morning is a very good spot for us to be. Let's face it, everyone's doing some great work, and I want to make sure that, when people are starting off their mornings, start their mornings right and righteously angry. I know it sounds so right wing, but it's time for the left to take back the word right. I just think it's a way for the program to be different and to diversify and to bring more guests on and to actually have more engagement in stories that are impacting our daily lives. I have to say, when it comes down to independent media, we are facing a huge wave of unchecked censorship by both the Democratic and Republican establishment. And of course, we have the corporate media being favored by the big tech algorithm. So freedom of speech and independent media journalism is fundamental to our democracy. So I urge everyone to, hey, double check and triple check that you're still subscribed to your favorite content creators who are independent journalists, commentators, people who want to speak truth to power. And we got to do this. So there you go. We got to just keep on doing it.
Absolutely. Come on, man.
Yeah. So Colin says, Kit, you suck because I'm at work when you are live now. That's guys.
So we got clips for.
Guys, that's what the clips are for. And not to mention, folks, hey, listen, if you're on your way to work, put some whiskey in your coffee, grab a mimosa, smoke a bowl, do some shrooms, do a line if you have to, whatever you got to get through the day. And if your boss gives you shit, just tell him to shut the hell up.
Colin's an East Coast guy, kid. He's already at work for 2 hours when you go live. But I will say that me and Reef
those preschool kids are going to have the best day.
Woo! Me and Reefer are co-founders of Indie News Network, INN, a collaborative family of independent content creators. And you can find all our channels at indienews.network. All the stories were included in independentleft.news between Sunday and Friday, except for the one that I wrote this weekend that we're going to cover. And it's impossible to keep up with this fire hose of developing news. And please make sure, share the link, like the stream, subscribe to our channel everywhere, and subscribe to Hard Lens Media as well. Looks like we got a couple dozen people already here, which is great. I'm so happy that everyone. Thank you for being here, and really appreciate you spending your Sunday night with us. Wish there were 100, but we're happy for everyone that's here. Really appreciate you guys, every single one, really. Lori Spencer has been out there. And if you can do any mutual aid by any stretch, everybody's got it tight right now. But Lori's really got it rough she had the tornado go through her house. They have to replace a roof. She's got some kind of sickness. Everybody's got it, man. It's brutal. And we're going to talk about some mutual aid tonight too. But
I urge everyone, hey, look, let's help out each other as much as we can, and make sure that we are contributing to each other's well-being. I understand times are tough for a lot of people, and let's be very clear here, it is going to get rougher. I wish I could paint a different picture, but folks, this is where we have to work together and stand together and be honest with each other and trust each other with our words and to follow through. Okay. And that's a key word, follow through and be real. All right. And it's just I'm shocked in regards towards how far this has gone with so many people's silent, obedient consent to the train derailings, to the corporate bailouts, to our politicians doing insider trading. I mean, it is incredible to watch. And the thing is, yes, we know who the bad guys are, and the bad guys, we know who they are. And I know it's childish to say, oh, well, they're bad guys, but let's face it, the people in charge are acting quite evil. All right. But the only way, but the only way we're ever really going to walk out of this is also acknowledging that our silent, obedient consent has also contributed to this nightmare. And I say this on the show, and I don't mean any disrespect to anybody. No disrespect to anybody here, but it is impressive how successful a lot of us have been brainwashed, myself included. I'm going to throw myself out there because even before doing all of this, I was part of that group of people who thought, oh, okay, it's on the news, two-party system. We got to trust it as is. It is what it is. And that's a problem. And it's hard for people to wake up to it. And, I say on my show, and I'll just end my rant here. I say on my show, like, hey, all of you watching, you have the arduous task of waking up your friends, your neighbors, your coworkers, your family members in regards to just how crazy the system is. And there's a very good chance you will not be successful. But if you just get that one person, it can make an impact. But we all got to be, wake up, asshole. We got to be calm about it. And the last thing we want to do is go on it's easy to say F you, Jagoff, or to hell with you, or you're brainwashed. And let's face it, we're going to run into those kind of things. But not to be quoting Michelle Obama. When they go low, we go high, but we actually have to take that high road. And just like, okay, well, sooner or later you wake up. Have people asking for more. Just drop hints like, yeah, it's a two-party system. People ask you how you vote. I vote third party. I vote independent. I support citizen ballot initiatives. It's an ongoing fight. But that's my rant, because I know we got a lot to talk about, and this is your show. I'm not the host. I'm not the host today. This is my day off.
I'm giving you the mic for a minute. You want to rant? You want to rant? I'll let you do that all day long. But then that's one of the reasons why you're here. But all right, so this is our thumbnail. Shout out to Big Mad Crab, of course, the creative director over at INN. We give ourselves silly titles, but we all do all the work together. Everybody streams. Everyone does their own design work. Everyone, and that's the thing. You know, somebody I saw was asking in the chat about why we're streaming to two different channels, and it's because we are all independent, and so we all have our own channels. But then we also contribute to this network, which we have now gotten to monetization, which is phenomenal. I'm so grateful for all of that, for that number of watch hours, because we all contribute as a family to it. But we all maintain our own channels, so that if we ever do want to back away from the network, we certainly have our own separate entities to do that. And I maintain Indie Left News completely separate from INN. I mean, sometimes I'll feature INN content, but Indie Left News features the entire left. INN features the 18 people that are in INN. So that was better. That was more to answer that question. But tonight we're going to talk about Nordstream, and we're going to go through a Craig Murray article. We're going to talk about the IPCC report that nobody's talked about really. I didn't even. I'm guessing you probably covered it on Hardlands Media, but if not, you're going to learn a little something tonight, and we're all going to die. You know?
Well, there's only so much I can cover in one day. Let's face it, I'm only human. We're all only human. I know I get a lot of people saying, "Hey, you got to cover this story." I see your messages. I try to do as best I can for a 1 hour and a half program. I really do try. I trust me, I try. Maybe so, but maybe
it's friend of the show, Roger Meadows, dude. I am not smart enough to understand the stuff you send me. Like, right. I love you, but like it's a lot of math and numbers.
No. I love it when he sends me stuff. I love it when he sends
I
me
do too.
Stuff.
I'm just like, amazing. I don't like, this is for smart people. Like, someone figure this out, please. Then Cliff Notes it for me. All
right. Like, so check this out. I wanted to showcase again. We have an Indie Media Award honoree in the house. So
I have it on my mouse, dude. It's right there.
Yeah, thank you. So this was back in November when Kit received his award. He took a picture for HLM, put it up there. So I wanted to grab that. And again, not many truly independent 5-day per week news programs out there dedicated to speaking truth to power and amplifying independent voices. We encourage more outlets to follow that Hardlands model, though we recognize that it is incredibly challenging to maintain a five-day a week show, and that's why we give you a ton of credit. But I want to get to our first story tonight, which is really Nordstream, and I love Craig Murray. Craig Murray's calling out the U.S. and the Five Eyes and NATO about the leaks that they claim for Nordstream. They said that it wasn't us, it wasn't the Russians, it was 6 Ukrainians in some kind of boat, right? Well, Craig Murray,
Thibodeau and Boudreaux.
Right. So this was like the day that it happened, and Craig Murray was immediately jumping all over it. Guardian, WAPO, Der Spiegel today published bombshell revelations about Russian cyber warfare based on leaked documents, but have produced only one single rather innocuous leaked document between them in the WAPO with 0 links to any. Which, where are these documents and what do they actually say? Der Spiegel says, this is all chronicled in 1,000 secret documents that included over 5,000 pages of project plans, right? Instructions and internals from Vulkan from 2016 through 2021. What's Project Vulkan? Despite being all in Russian and extremely technical in nature, but 5,000 pages? Where are they? 10 different media houses have cooperated on the leaks, and the articles have been produced by large teams of journalists in each individual publication. But here's what we're going to find out. We know what a hack Luke Harding is. Going back to the WikiLeaks stuff, that he and David Lee are the two that have screwed up the whole Julian Assange stuff with regard to The Guardian. The Guardian article written, it's terrible. All right, WAPO articles written by all these people, 22 journalists. That's 30 named journalists, each with a publication deploying large team. And yet, if you read through these 3 articles, you cannot help that they are remarkably similar. All right.
Of course they are.
And he quotes each one. Effectively, you could, you can, what do you call it? Somebody's coughing up phlegm. It sounds like somebody's coughing up phlegm. I don't know who. Hopefully nobody here.
That's not me.
Der Spiegel.
Oh, Der Spiegel. Yes, that's right. So, documents suggest Russia sees attacks in civilians' critical infrastructure, and social media manipulation is one of the same mission, right? So, and you have the same thing, sees attacks on civilian critical infrastructure. That was in Washington Post as one in the same mission. Interesting, said John Hultquist. They're all quoting this guy, John Hultquist, from Mandiant. All right, they're all basically using the same. Note that it is not just the central Hultquist quote, which is the same. In each case, the teams of 30 journalists have very slightly altered a copy-pasted entire paragraph. Welcome to corporate media, folks. Okay, where you have to get in line and you have to print the approved narrative. All right. In fact, the remarkable sameness of all 3 articles with same quotes and sources of all same articles makes plain to anybody reading that all these 3 articles are taken from a single source document. Question is, who produced the central document? And I assume it is one of the 5 security services, which all the articles say were consulted. Right? It's unbelievable. And people are not going to make the connection because nobody reads. How many people read Der Spiegel, the Washington Post, and the New York Times to put this all together, to see that they're putting this propaganda narrative across the globe? All right. And the London
whoever has
paper too. Well, Craig Murray did. And thank goodness he did, because he's calling this out. All 3 articles include the comprehensively debunked claim that Russia hacked the Clinton or DNC emails. They all include it, despite the fact that none of the 3 articles makes the slightest attempt to connect this allegation to any of the leaked Vulkan documents or to provide any evidence for it at all. Right? That's pretty good, Craig. Casual readers led to the conclusion, right? What's that?
Mm-hmm. What about the Romulan documents? We have the Vulcan documents, but not the Romulan documents.
Actually, it's a fake.
Okay. It's actually the Ferengi documents, because it's definitely the greed and the capitalistic document, and that's serving this. But the casual readers led to the conclusion that in some way the Vulcan leak proves the Clinton hack, despite the fact that no evidence is adduced. And in fact, on close reading, none of the articles makes any claim there's any reference at all to the Clinton hack in the Vulcan documents, or any kind of evidence in them supporting the claim. What is this Vulcan stuff? All 3 teams of journalists independently decided to throw in the debunked claim unrelated to any of the leaked material that they're supposedly discussing is not very probable. It's being planted by CIA or by Bellingcat or by somebody. By who? Right?
Wow.
So WAPO doesn't actually deign to give us a facsimile of one page of one of the leaked emails, which does indeed appear to reference cyber warfare capabilities to control or disable vital infrastructure. But the problem is that they're showing us page 4 of a document devoid of context. Why no link to the whole document? We can see that it's about research into these capabilities, but presumably the whole document might reveal something about the purpose of such research, or, for example, is it offensive or to develop such defense against such offense? Mm-hmm. But here, more importantly, how do we actually know that it was Russian at page 4? Like, can they just print something out off of Word and do some stuff, authenticate it, and it looks like it's page 4 of a document in Russian? I mean, I got questions.
I mean, now they flip a coin now, and if it's heads, it's Chinese, and if it's tails, it's Russian.
Right?
Like, that's our surveillance state.
Okay, well, now here's the thing. We got to get serious here in regards towards just how this will backfire, not only on our leading officials, but towards the American people as well. Look, what we're seeing here is mass paranoia by the establishment. And not only are they being paranoid, but they're also fueling paranoia amongst the American people. You know, I know that we have said, and we've all done these reports, it's not related to the story, but how more Americans are identifying as independent and how many Americans are not trusting the institutions. But going forward from that, how many people are actually taking the initiative to educate themselves or care to really know about what is happening? Because some people just might turn off, but then when they see stuff like this, when they see this kind of madness and hysteria, it leads to the establishment once again regaining control over a narrative, over what's being presented to the American people, over the media. And this should frighten us a little bit, not like frighten us to we're in fear, but to more of, oh my goodness, how many people are going to think Russia and China are our new Saturday morning cartoon villains? I mean, look, Xi Jinping and Putin, they are definitely not saints. They aren't. But we are constantly antagonizing and provoking these other powers that will one day, look, all nations have a beginning and an end. Everything has a beginning and an end. That's what my deceased grandfather said. He passed away in February. He always would tell me, Kit, everything that has a beginning does and will have an end. And the way the United States has been acting and presenting itself to the world, these policies that our government officials are doing will have irreversible damage towards the American people, because when this thing all does fall apart, and it looks like to me we are on that precipice of a full-on collapse, so many people are going to be left wondering, how did this happen? And we have this all documented before us, but how many people are being informed about it? It's same thing like the fall of any other empire. We can all sit around and say, how did this happen? This happened gradually. This happened with the consent of the people, but it also happened when there were no checks on those who had absolute power and no responsibility for the positions of power that they're in.
Well, and that's what Craig's talking about. So Craig's talking about that, how he's always suspicious of leaks where the actual documents are kept hidden, and we know only by what we're told by, in this case, a propaganda operation, which even on the surface of it involves Western security services, government-funded cybersecurity firms, and Microsoft and Google. When WikiLeaks releases documents, they actually release the whole documents, so you can look at them and make up your mind on what they really say or mean. For example, such as the Vault 7 release on CIA hacking tools. My favorite Vault 7 revelation was that the CIA hackers leave behind fake fingerprints, including commands in Cyrillic script to create a false trail that the Russians did it. As you can see, you can actually see the actual documents on WikiLeaks. I have no reason to doubt that Russia employs techniques on cyber warfare, but I do have absolutely no reason to believe that Russia does so any more than Western security services. In fact, there is some indication that this Vulkan information, that Russian cyber warfare capability, is less advanced than Western. So with absolutely zero self-awareness of the implications of what they're saying, Luke Harding and his team at Guardian tell us that one document shows engineers recommending Russia add to its own capabilities by using hacking tools stolen from 2016 from the U.S. National Security Agency and posted online.
NSA,
Wait a minute. It is, of course, only bad when the Russians do it, right? But the fact is, virtually no cross-referencing to the Snowden or Vault 7 leaks in any of the publications shows this up for the coordinated security service propaganda exercise that it is. But there are numerous examples, like he says, of various hacks alleged to be committed by Russian security services with no links whatsoever to any document in the Vulkan leaks, and in fact, evidence given to any kind except for multiple references to allegations by U.S. authorities. The WAPO articles has the best claim to maintain that some kind of reasonable journalistic standard, but really not really, because it includes these important phrases and missions notably absent from the Harding piece, right? That, quote, these officials and experts could not find definitive evidence that the systems had been deployed by Russia or had been used in specific cyber attacks. Yeah, that's kind of important to include. Or that the documents do not, however, include verified target lists, malicious software code, or evidence linking the projects to known cyber attacks. This was all speculation in a plan. Another one. I mean, 3 quotes alone. Another one. They offer insights into the aims of a Russian state that, like other major powers, including the U.S., is eager to grow and systematize its ability to conduct cyber attacks with greater speed, scale, and efficiency. So they're doing exactly what we're doing, and we're mad about it. 17 agencies, damn it. That's right, Fred Edward. Shout out Fred Edward. He's a good dude. Last quote is, of course, the key point. WAPO deserves some kudos for at least acknowledging it, which is more than you could say for Guardian or Der Spiegel. So again, you've got DC, London, and Munich, in Germany, the three major newspapers of record. Even WAPO in no way allows it to affect the tone or tenor of its report. But in truth, there's no reason to doubt that the Russian state is developing cyber warfare capabilities, and there's no reason to doubt that commercial companies, including Vulkan, are involved in some of the subcontracted work. Vulkan is a private corporation, right? But exactly the same thing is true of the US, UK, any major Western nation. Tens of billions are being poured into cyber warfare, as we know, and 100 billion into Ukraine this year. And the vast resources deployed on it by NATO states vastly outnumber resources available to Russia. So this is where we get into who puts out anti-Russian propaganda. Yes, it is a large exercise there. And here are some key facts. Taking the Guardian, WAPO, and Der Spiegel articles together, less than 2% of the articles consist of direct quotes from the alleged leaked documents. So it's all just speculation and crap and fluff. Less than 10% of the articles consist of the alleged description of the contents of the documents. So again, it's just smear pieces and talking about background and history and stuff that didn't necessarily have anything to do with it. Over 15% of the articles consist of comment by Western security services and cyber warfare industry, which is literally more than the combined amount of the direct quotes and alleged description of contents. And then over 40% of the articles consist of descriptions of alleged Russian hacking activity, zero of which is referenced in the actual Vulkan leaks. We get to see one page of an alleged 5,000 leak plus a couple of maps and graphics. And it took 30 mainstream journalists to produce this gross propaganda. I could have done it alone for them in a night.
Dude, a Nigerian prince gets better numbers. Right? I don't know if they're like
working up three slightly different articles from what the security services have fed them directly and indirectly. And ChatGPT could have done it in about 8 seconds. Right? He says,
let's not even talk about ChatGPT, because that technology, I mean, I'm impressed with it, but it's frightening at the same time. I have never seen anything that can.
We just have yet to ask it how Kit really feels.
Yeah.
So, like it's gonna be a very bad day after that. That's gonna start the singularity. Yeah.
Then Craig makes a plea. If you can go to craigmurray.org, you can hook him up with a donation or a subscription or anything you can do to help him out. He's got all different ways to help him. Unlike the 77th Brigade, the Integrity Initiative, Bellingcat, the Atlantic Council, all these NGOs and semi-state funded organizations, we actually are independent and rely on donations and on user funding. So that's why. Shout out to Craig Murray, support independent media. There's our merch. If you do want to get some indie merch, it's independentleft.shop, or you can go to innmerch.com. That works too. And then we're going to go
Shut up
to
and take my money.
Well, no, I don't want you. No, that's not nice. That's not cool.
Dude, let Fry do his thing. He wants to give you the money.
All right. So
he wants to give it to you.
We're going to talk about Mehdi Hassan and Matt Taibbi later, and what happened with Substack and that whole thing. And really, Mehdi and Matt was a sidebar to what I want to talk about, which is the corporate war between them. Any Martian optic yellow? I don't even know what that question means. Desert Mantis.
Soon to be Clone Wars. You mean not corporate Clone War?
Yeah,
we're about to.
That whole situation is kind of scary about what it where we're going with that. And is Elon gonna keep this up? Is he gonna back down? I hope he does, because it sucks for sharing our links and engagement and getting people across there. It's not going to be the end of the world. We're going to keep publishing and keep doing what we do, and we'll find a way around it. But yeah.
Well, here's the thing with Elon Musk censoring Substack. I mean, I will have to say this. We talked about this on Hard Lens Media, and We had 3 different perspectives on how this will play out. Number 1, nothing will fundamentally change. Number 2, instead of Twitter, like how the old Twitter handlers were censoring people, now Elon Musk can do that to his own which way he sees. Or 3, he opens the platform up and it becomes a bastion of free speech, which obviously is not the case.
Nope.
Because of subsidy. And again, look, people need social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, to promote their various other social media links, and Substack is a way in which many writers, journalists, commentators, content creators use to reach out to their audience. And by having Substack removed, that severely impacts people's bottom line. So what I would say to Elon Musk is, okay, well, you're going after Substack. Guess who else uses Substack? People like Aaron Mate, Glenn Greenwald, Max Blumenthal. And I'm just naming some of the heavy hitters and no disrespect to anybody else that uses Substack, but I'm just mentioning those 3. And hey, guess what? Their friend Matt Taibbi too. So, folks, this is not good, Elon, what you're doing towards Substack. And I would say, reinstate it and remove your censorship ban on it, because you're making yourself look no better than the previous individuals that were running Twitter. Unless there's some sort of confusion, let's give benefit of doubt. Maybe I don't know. I don't want to go that far. I don't want to get. People know what they're doing if they're in positions of power. So there you go.
Yep. Well, again, we're going to talk about why he's doing that, doing that, and what the motivation is behind it, and what Substack is doing, and you'll maybe I don't know if you read the article I wrote already, or we're going to go through it, and I'll explain kind of why I think he's doing what he's doing. And he's not 100% wrong, but they need to figure out a way to work this out for everyone else, and that's the way that I would present this. But I want to get to our next story, which is talking about the IPCC report, because this is really alarming, to say the least, from nature.com. So I've got 2 articles. The first one came out of FAIR earlier in the week, which is the projected collapse of crucial Antarctic current met with media silence, which, okay, I hadn't heard anything about a crucial Antarctic current. That's kind of scary. So this is a short little thing talking about that on March 20th, the IPCC report came out, and everyone kind of, said that was really bad. But then on March 29th in Nature, this study found that a little studied deep ocean circulation system is slowing dramatically and could collapse this century. One IPCC author not involved in the study declared it headline news. And unfortunately, of course, thanks to Don't Look Up or whatever, and science doesn't guide U.S. corporate media, which were virtually silent on the landmark study. Authors modeled
science.
Yeah, they modeled the effects of Antarctic meltwater on deep ocean currents crucial to marine ecosystems. So it's a little into it here, but similar to the more well-studied Atlantic meridional overturning circulation, right? But that's what the Gulf Stream is part of, right? That's important, which is known to be dangerously weakening. So the Antarctic overturning circulation has major planetary impacts. It pushes nutrient-dense water from the ocean floor up toward the surface, which where those nutrients support marine life, right? So the Nature study, which also refers to the current as Antarctic bottom water, found that this circulation system is projected to slow down 42% by 2050. That's not very far off. And
have we watched a Day After Tomorrow? Did people watch them run away from the ice in that movie?
Well,
is that?
And I remember, like, from An Inconvenient Truth, like 20 years ago, they talked about, and that's a little penguin sitting there, the crucial Antarctic, that's the article that came out on CNN on March 29th, was the only major U.S. outlet that they could find covering the news that an ocean current would collapse in this century, which would mean that one of the spigots that keeps the currents going would collapse, and that could end up in a planetary freeze potentially. So this is indeed headline news, with major impacts on the sustainability of marine ecosystems and the ocean's capacity to absorb carbon dioxide, accelerating climate change. And this deep warming could further ice melt, which isn't incorporated into the studies modeled, meaning that this could happen
then make all your currents
even faster, right? And it could happen even faster than the model predicts. So yet, FAIR could find no record of
you're changing density. Right. You're adding a ton more fresh water, which then that fresh water doesn't sink as well as salt water and doesn't get as cold. So therefore, you screw up pretty much every current that controls our climate. So, yeah.
Just a few mentions.
We're going to have a good time.
Look at that. 3 a.m. CNN Newsroom, April 1st. The conversation picked up by
Chicago's going to get a lot colder.
Everybody's going to get a lot colder. But basically, it's been ignored. Reuters, the London Guardian, and BBC published articles. Bill McKibben argued that Trump's arrest, which dominated headlines, of course, the day the Nature study came out, far less remarkable. Him ending up in trouble for tax evasion to cover up an affair with a porn star, right? Seems unlikely.
God. This whole thing with Stormy Daniels and Trump, it's a distraction. And the thing is, what I find funny is that there was an article that came out where Stormy Daniels felt sorry for Trump. You know what? People don't, if people want to really look back in regards to how those two hooked up, I know, disgusting image in everyone's head. But Stormy was trying to get on the Celebrity Apprentice.
Yep.
She was trying to do that to get on that show. Gee, Stormy, look, I mean, she knew what she was doing when she hooked up with Trump. Okay. Trump was already married at the time, and she could have easily said, no, I'm not that desperate to get on Celebrity Apprentice. Hell, I don't even know why she even really got in there in the first place, but there you go. I mean, it is what it is. You had two consenting adults, and Trump, being the crazy jagoff that he is, of course, gives her $130K in hush money. And again, what's also interesting is that when Stormy Daniels hired her first lawyer, I mean, this guy had a history of swindling not only her, but other of his own clients. I mean, I remember when Vote Blue No Matter Who was hyping her original lawyer up as the guy that could face off against Trump. This is our hero. I mean, talk about a goddamn distraction.
Right?
Yep.
Well, Fair was talking. Oh, God. Fair was talking about how when the first study came out last year, 6 weeks later, as of Earth Day, there was basically no coverage of it between when it first came out and then Earth Day. And look, fossil fuel industry, the major news advertisers they have on politics. So they're not covering it. In any case, the shocking lack of coverage is once again corporate media's commitment to a livable planet comes nowhere close to matching the urgency of the situation. But this is actually making sense of the report. What actually is in this damn thing? And again, this is out of our friends over at the Indie Media Awards. Common Dreams. Thank you.
There you go.
All right. And this is like a super long one that was written by this guy, Kim Scipes, and he's a professor, really knows his stuff. It's in detail. It's very in depth, but the news is not good. Basically, their arguments have gotten more refined, more specific. Climate change impacting humans, animals, and plants to a greater and greater extent. Things are getting worse, and its impact will escalate the longer we hesitate to take resolute steps to address it. Nobody surprised about any of that. But here's where it's making several points. The Earth's temperature is rising. With each increased increment, things are getting worse. Moving forward, without major changes this decade, they will get exponentially worse. We were literally out of time. And
yep.
Right.
Well, there isn't a chance for humanity to really go back in time and reverse these damages. I mean, the damage is already done. We're just going to have to live in a world where the planet will be reacting to us violently. This is our situation as a species and as a people that we will have to overcome. And with the threat of superstorms and droughts and cold winters, polar vortexes, etc., we're going to have to come to the terms of the fact that our infrastructure, especially here in America, is not up to the standard to really deal with the amount of changes that will be impacting our environment. So
we can't even deal with what we have right now, let alone what's coming forward.
Not only can we not deal with it, but it will impact how we consume our food, how we live, how we contribute to our society. It's these everlasting changes. And the thing is, as sea levels continue to rise, there might one day be a situation to where a superstorm hits Miami once, twice, 3 times. And
that's just the easy stuff that could happen, let alone dinosaurs unmelt from the ice, or
I'm not worried about that.
I don't think you have to worry about those
Jurassic
corpses.
Park? Okay.
Yeah.
We're not going Jurassic Park.
I'm serious.
I like
they have been pulling Jurassic viruses out of the snow and giving them little virus CPR, waking them back up. I'm telling you.
I like those 1950s stories, but I don't think there's going to be no giant praying mantis or dinosaur waking up from the ice.
That is my nightmare. A giant praying mantis. Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. There was actually a movie called The Deadly Mantis, 1956. It came out. So yeah. And what I found funny about that film is the main protagonist is telling I think some bunch of scientists saying, well, what if they were alive? Those animals that were frozen in that block of ice. What if they are still alive? It's like, dude, no, they're dead. They're dead.
Yeah,
they're dead.
Yeah. I can picture Mystery Science Theater in front of them.
So this guy says in the report they present findings from a wide range of research, recognizing a range of possibilities. They give median or mid-range possibilities, but we're going to only talk about the 90% of the finding, the range of 90% or higher. Reporting median findings is the best way to find to represent a range of New America results, much more representative than averages. So that's what they're doing here. But the current status and trends were that what this says, should it not be clear, is that human beings have caused the Earth's surface of temperature to rise, not natural processes, through emitting greenhouse gases, which include carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, and fluorinated gases, with the first two being the most harmful, of course. And we know from the extent of this increase compared to the median temperature from between 1850 and 1900, median temperature between 2011 and 2020 was 1.1 degrees Celsius higher in just 9 years. The entire 50-year stretch, 1850 to 1900, was chosen to represent pre-industrial civilization. So before we actually started polluting like crazy with our equipment and machinery. This gives us a more stable period of comparison, median temperature across a 50-year period, instead of just the usual single years of 1750 or 1880, when 1750 is when the Industrial Revolution began, or 1880 when detailed records began being compiled. Thus, we can be more confident of reported increases and decreases in the future. But it's accelerating at such a crazy pace. Accordingly, we know that 58% of the approximate 2,400 gigatons of carbon dioxide equivalents emitted by humans into the atmosphere, or 2.2 trillion pounds, were emitted between 1850 and 1989, while the other 42% have happened between 1990 and 2019. That's like since I've been in high school. That's insane. 42% of the carbon emitted in the world history, or since 1850. That's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, we're polluters and we're users and we're destroying this planet. Okay, shows the annual rates increasing faster in the second period than in the initial period. So it keeps going and keeps showcasing how much quicker we're accelerating. Right, CO2 level was already 420 parts per million, and it gets very technical. I don't want to go into how technical this is, but it's important that as carbon dioxide is emitted into the atmosphere, the more it attacks the very atmosphere that protects the Earth from the sun's rays. Again, that's like the ozone layer. Put in the essential relationship to more greenhouse gases released, the more damage to the atmosphere, leading to more warming and many related problems. Okay, so this is an inconvenient truth, literally coming true. Sea level's been rising around the globe. The rate of increase been accelerating. And again, between 1901 and 70, 1.3 millimeters, 1971 and 2006, 1.9 millimeters, and between 2006 and 2018, 3.7 millimeters per year, double the rise, the rate of rise. So what, right? Well, when you consider, again, the large number of cities that are on the coasts of oceans, and it lists a ton of them, including Amsterdam and Tokyo and Glasgow and London and New Orleans and Mobile and all of our shipping cities, New York City, Philly, Newport News, San Diego, San Francisco, Seattle, LA. You're talking hundreds of millions of people who are increasing risk from sea level rise. All right. And then when we recognize that most coastal cities have major infrastructures, sanitation, transportation, electricity, below street level, You can see that rising oceans threaten the well-being of people before rising to street level. It can electrocute like a whole group of people very easily.
I mean, you've already seen subways completely flooded.
Or
like
just
recently.
flood out the system so that they're completely unusable. Right. So
well, the thing is, like, if we look at what happened to New York City, I think there were 2 different occasions where the subways were flooded out, in which, again, the trains were delayed. You know, there's going to be a lot of major metropolitan cities that are on the East Coast that will deal with an absolute and irreversible change to how they maintain their entire infrastructure. New York City, let's face it, it's a huge economic hub for the American Republic. And when we look at the fact that, again, nothing's been updated in regards to how we build our city and how it's supposed to, our cities, or how we're supposed to update for changes in the weather. I mean, with so many stories that we've covered, all of us have covered, with buildings and trains being derailed and so much more, there's going to come to a point to where all of our antiquated systems will be irrelevant, and we'll be unable to truly use them unless the United States is deciding to invest into itself. I mean, there might, like I mentioned, like these superstorms hitting Florida, for example. Can you imagine a day when one day Miami or Orlando are one day deemed, hey, we can't rebuild these cities because it just costs too much, and the sea is going to claim it anyways. I mean, there's going to be a mass exodus of people leaving these low sea level areas and going to higher ground so that they could restart their lives. I mean, there's all this concern about migrants crossing the border, but what about here in our own country, where you're going to have millions upon millions, hundreds of millions of Americans leaving en masse to go to other states and restarting their lives? And with the way this economy is going and the lack of jobs, we are going to see so much instability. It will make what we saw in the 1930s with the Depression seem like child's play. We have people in power that are not ready for the madness. And the fact is, the people in power right now are in their late 80s who will eventually die out, because that's what's going to happen. But their successors waiting in wings have no idea, or are truly incapable of offering any solutions to help the eventual climate migrants here in this own country. I mean, it's one thing to say there's going to be climate migrants from Central and South America, but climate migrants within our own country too. And not to mention, we've built community, moving away from the East Coast, but let's look at these cities and towns that are built in deserts or, dry climate areas. Yep. We built cities and towns in areas in which there's only a finite amount of fresh, clean drinking water.
Vegas, and Arizona, they're having it right now. Yeah.
And speaking of clean drinking water, we did not one but 2 documentary videos, Toxic Tour. There's Toxic Tour and Toxic Tour 2, where we were covering these industrial facilities dumping regulated toxic waste into Lake Michigan. And last I checked, Lake Michigan, along with Lake Superior, Lake Erie, Lake Huron, are all major bodies of fresh, clean drinking water.
Yeah.
And if they're contaminated, we can't use it. Then what does that say in the long run? Not to mention, there's lead in Flint, Michigan's water. There's all these chemicals in East Palestine, Ohio. There's lead in Chicago's drinking water. This is a powder keg that's ready to blow up.
Yep. So we're seeing again that we humans are killing the physical environment. I see what Patrick Bet David is saying, in that if insurers are still going and insuring beachfront property, then it can't be a problem. But those insurance companies are either going to go out of business or they're going to get bailed out.
They've also stopped doing that.
Right. And those guys
have
already
also stopped doing that.
Right. And they're also not already doing flood insurance in Florida. But anyway, physical environment is not the only victim. Humans are, of course, especially susceptible to extreme heat events, because human mortality and morbidity, very high confidence, is going to increase, right? The occurrence of climate-related foodborne and waterborne diseases, they have very high confidence that's going to increase. Water, all right? And the incidence of vector-borne diseases with high confidence are also going to increase. This is the result of like 90% certainty or more in assessed regions. Mental health challenges are associated with increasing temperatures, all right? The heat making people literally crazy. Right, trauma from extreme events because of that, and loss of livelihoods and culture because of the results of that. Climate and weather extremes are increasingly driving displacement in Africa, Asia, North America, Central and South America with medium confidence, and with small island states in the Caribbean and South Pacific being disproportionately affected relative to their small population and size. They literally could end up disappeared or underwater. Dominican Republic or Haiti. And this isn't again just isolated, right? So
resources.
Yeah, the IPCC report.
To keep you in line.
It is we're all going to die. They're going to destroy their entire. We're already destroying the entire planet, and this is how it's going to happen. But they've been stunningly accurate, or actually conservative, in their reporting and in their estimation of how quickly things are accelerating, how quickly the ocean temperatures are increasing. You guys, I saw Desert Mantis talked about Superstorm Sandy, and I live in the New York area. I dealt with that, as well as Irene. Crab talked about that too. That assault during 2012 shows unequivocally that urban areas are at serious risk, and people of color and poor people of color. Look at all the people who lived in basement apartments that drowned when that place flooded out. It was disgusting. Oh, it was awful.
Yeah.
And to sum up again, this is where it's going. So this guy said, how do we respond? So future risks, and what do we do with this, right? Number of choices, how do we respond? Now in reality, without broad, widespread, the military is the key to me. Also, continued mobilization. Plastic, going to paper straws isn't going to do it if the military has these massive vehicles that are eating up the climate. So, the report didn't say that. He did, that not to help out the people around the world, but to maintain their own wealth. About the wealthy, we have to wealth displacement. 10% of households with the highest per capita emissions contribute 35 to 45% of global consumption-based household emissions. Bottom 50% contribute 13 to 15%, and that's again the wealthy getting wealthier, the poor staying poor. And the wealthy with their private jets and with their yachts and all the other toys that they have. NASCAR, I love not watching NASCAR, but NASCAR pollutes the air like crazy. So all these toys are certainly not helping. And I argue that means we must unify with forces around the globe. No one people can make the required changes by themselves. Right, and this keeps
here's I don't mean to interject, but I don't want to say it's too late, but we have to realize that the point of no return has already been crossed. And when it comes down to human civilizations rising and falling, we are kind of witnessing history repeat itself. Maybe, and I don't want to say like history repeat itself, but it sure does like to rhyme. And the thing is, we become so over-reliant on fossil fuels and the energy it provides and how it is essential to everything that we do. With this collapse happening, and with the fact that we got climate change and its overall role in our society, it is kind of inevitable at this point. And if I had to give a comparison, look at the Bronze Age collapse, in which you had societies over-reliant on bronze and on the complex trade system that they had. And as that those nations eventually, as that complex trade system began to fall apart, we also witnessed in that time a natural climate change event take place that caused a massive displacement of so many people. This is bound to happen. It's not. I don't want to say, hey, like, we got to do something right now. I mean, we should have done something
years ago, 20 years ago. Yeah.
Now we have to clean up the milk that's been spilled.
It's now, yes, there's a cleanup. And unfortunately, there is going to be a crisis, a global crisis, in which we now have to face. We don't have a choice here, unfortunately.
And here's the thing:
there now, people.
If we choose this, then it is likely to happen, and it's up to us to decide if these ramifications are worthy and or desirable. But it's the politicians and the corporations that are effectively deciding this, and we're in deep crap because they've already effectively decided. Agenda 2030, World Economic Forum, all these major agendas that have been happening. How do we stop? How do we reverse any of this and put the brakes on all of it? Because this report spends considerable time discussing these models, but it doesn't do it in a systematic way that's easily accessible to non-physical students. Not going to spend a lot of time discussing them, right? But then this guy keeps going and going and going. It's crazy. You've got to read this article because it really is important that the science is incontrovertible. Climate change threatens the very existence of humans, animals, and most plants on the planet, although arguments can still be made about how soon we must resolutely act to actually have a chance of stopping this. Some people believe it's already too late. Others believe, like we said, by 2030. Others think we have more time. That's not settled. There is also hope that even if the Earth's surface temperature exceeds 1.5 degrees, future inventions could bring it back below and restore some kind of atmospheric stability, though I don't see any evidence to date that that supports the development of something that effective. However, there are two things not mentioned in the report: war and capitalism. And I think you talked about, you're heavily anti-war, Kit. We certainly are also, as well as anti-capitalist.
Unfortunately, when it comes down to humans, I do hope for the day when we evolve out of our primal instincts, but warfare, greed, the need to compete is ingrained into our psyche, into our mindset as a species. And the only way I fear we're going to learn the final lesson is if there is an absolute fallout. And the thing is, I don't want us to get to that point, because if we do cross that line further, then that means there's going to be some jagoff who's going to look at the shiny red button, push it, nukes go a-flying, and mushroom clouds are in the sky. And then there's no rebuilding after this.
Like Sleepy Joe.
There is no great reconstruction, because once that happens, all this technology you see before you, the Library of Alexandria at your fingertips, that's what I call our cell phones, that's not coming back. That will not come back. And the state of humanity, the survivors will envy the dead, if there will be any survivors, because the planet will again be permanently damaged by our own man-made weapons of mass destruction.
And he's talking about, look, every bridge or building struck harms the environment, period, in war. And look at what's happening. You got Russia, Ukraine, Israel, Palestine, Yemen, which is thankfully ended, and us versus the world. So, on top of the fact that we're unleashing Agent Orange, and then Nordstream, which we destroyed, allegedly. But
whoa, guys, stop you right there.
Right.
New York Times posted an article saying, wait a minute, maybe it's in the American people's best interest not to look further.
No, not to look anymore. No, we don't want to look any further into that.
Fake news.
That's right.
Don't look any further.
Right.
Stop asking questions. Yes, that's a human ear. That's one of my favorite lines from Blue Velvet.
Capitalism's
that's a human ear.
Capitalism's immediate demand for increased production is killing us through the emission of greenhouse gases. We know simply it must be stopped as soon as possible. I don't think there's any support by anyone with any sense that capitalism will save us, that it'll create the tools to remove carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, fluorinated gases quickly enough or sufficiently enough to keep the Earth's temperature at or below 1.5 degrees rise. So we're fucked, as Misty likes to say all the time.
We're fucked. Yep.
So,
we're fucked.
Yes, thank you, Reef. Neither war nor capitalism were mentioned in this report by the IPCC. Something obviously is missing, for sure, right? But we need to include many more things into the mix. But yeah, we're already screwed. And it's clear that we can't depend on our economic or political leaders if we're going to survive. We have to do it ourselves, but together and globally. How we do that without them, I wish I had more answers, but I just wanted to call attention to how...
the thing.
Yeah, right.
How bad, thing, Jack.
How bad this report really was, how alarming it was. I do want to address Geography Pro. Thank you for the $2 tip over on Rockfin. He says, quote,
appreciate you, fam.
Thank you. I understand pushing left-wing policies, but coalitions with people in the right is very important to get things done. Agreed. Hence the Rage Against the War Machine rally. I tell people a good start is by following people from the right on social media like Libertarians and Mises Caucus, because you will find a lot in common, like ending wars, but many on the left don't, for fear of being a Nazi supporter. Well, we are actually quite friendly with some of the libertarian folks. Scott Horton's great. Dave DeCamp, anti-war, and Misty is great friends with a lot of them. So
I've been on Larry Sharp's show a few times. Scott Horton. I think Scott Horton might have been on my show. God, I've interviewed so many people. I'm getting amnesia already. But look, to these vote blue, no matter who people say, oh, you can't talk to anyone on the right. Last I checked, to the libertarians and conservatives I've spoken to, they don't want to drink polluted water. They don't want to eat, they don't want to have their kids exposed to dangerous chemicals. I just think the problem is the barriers of censorship and silence and division have been built up so high that I think people forgot, hey, wait a minute, what's going on the other side of the wall? Excuse me. Hey, did you hear about this happening? I think the fact that no one's making the effort to communicate, it's extremely detrimental to us actually building a coalition to stand up against a two-party system. Because I've had Republicans and yes, even Democrats comment on my show hey, I agree with voting third party or independent, but I can't do it in my state. And so, in many ways, so many people are even held back by even the laws of the land to where they even cannot even exercise their own independent thoughts or even exercise an independent vote. This is an uphill fight that all of us need to contribute in, because if we don't start contributing right now, I fear that there will be nothing left to rebuild. I want there to be a better future. I say that on my show a lot, but I think what is going to happen is something so barbaric and so frightening to so many people that it's going to have to wake people up. But unfortunately, and I don't want this to be taken out of context, but there isn't enough blood in the street to really make people start giving a damn. And that's unfortunate, because when we look at the people in France, they are ticked off, and rightfully so, at the fact that their own government is raising their retirement age. And I even, hey, on the off chance we got anyone from France watching this show right now, shout out to international
the French solidarity.
Yeah, so if anyone's from France watching this show right now, look, in America, our health insurance is tied to our jobs. As soon as we get laid off or our jobs are gone, so goes our health insurance. We don't have social safety nets. Our retirement age is much higher. Hell, we have people in their 80s and 90s being Walmart greeters, and that's a nightmare upon itself. So the thing is, you don't want what we have here, people of France, because if your politicians get the opportunity to do what our politicians here in America are doing to us, they're going to do it. So if you compromise or listen to the platitudes of your politicians, you're going to be just like us. And, look, not having the stereotypical American tell you what to do, but you don't want what we have. So I'm going to tell you what to do right now, people of France. If you back down, you're going to be just like us, and you do not want that. You don't want that. Take it from me. Listen to me. And as an American is telling you what to do. You don't want this. Okay? And I'm glad that you're fighting back, because the thing is, I actually went to a Walmart and I saw some senior citizen, just there being a Walmart greeter. I saw another one who looked like they were in their 80s stocking shelves. And I'm just wondering, if that person were to collapse right now, I made this joke on the show, they'll probably get an exoskeleton put on that dead body and have that exoskeleton just go back to stocking the shelves with the cadaver just moving things. So the person will be a dead body, but the robot exoskeleton will be moving them along. So even in death, your body is still working.
Pretty soon there won't even be a body. It'll just be the robots. And that's the plan. But I'm going to call an audible. I was going to do a Consent Factory article from CJ Hopkins, but we're running a little long. So I wanted to get to the Substack, Twitter stuff. This was what was really hot. It's really what I wanted to talk about anyway. It's got me kind of upset and fired up to the point where I actually wrote an article. So I wanted to first off talk about Matt Taibbi for a second. So Matt, it's literally one slide. I was able to, he published something to his Substack last night. saying that earlier this afternoon that he learned the Substack links were being locked on Twitter. Since being able to share his articles is the primary reason that he uses Twitter, he was alarmed and asked what's going on. And it turns out Twitter is upset about a new notes feature, which they see as a hostile rival. And when I asked how I was supposed to market my work, I was given the opportunity of posting my articles on Twitter instead of Substack, except that it doesn't allow you the same publishing format. So it's not a one-to-one thing. Not much suspense there. I'm staying at Substack. So you've all been great to me, as is management of the company. Beginning early next week, I'll be using the new Substack Notes feature, to which you'll have access, which is cool. We'll have access to that instead of Twitter, a decision that apparently will come at a price as far as any future Twitter Files reports are concerned. Not just that, but Elon Musk actually unfollowed him on Twitter, which, believe it or not, so petty. It was absolutely worth it, and I'll always be grateful to those who gave me the chance to work on that story. But man, is this a crazy planet. So that's kind of what shook out a little bit, but I got really I've been following this for a while. And so I wanted to write an article about it, and let me switch the slideshow off and go back to the main. And now here we go. Here's the article that I wrote. So it's Substack versus Twitter. Poking bears actually has consequences. This is not about Matt Taibbi or the Twitter Files. All right. Now, this coincided with Matt Taibbi going on Mehdi Hasan and having an explosive interview where Mehdi Hasan effectively attacked everything that he wrote in the Twitter Files by pointing out a couple of minor date changes, and there were inconsistencies and incorrect things toward which Taibbi admitted, yes, that was incorrect. But those were minor, and they don't dismiss the entirety of what the Twitter Files were and the collusion between government and private business that it exposed. But they were certainly mistakes that he acknowledged and owned up to. And Mehdi was looking for the gotcha, and he got it from corporate media. But more importantly was what Substack, the war that broke out between Substack and Twitter. And that's what I wanted to talk about, which is that Twitter decided to respond after Substack has been trying to take Twitter's users for months. And I've seen this. I've been like, ooh, it's a little cringy. So I said, this is a tough one to write. I love what Substack has been doing the past 2 years, and it's why we're here and why we advocate for most content creators to take advantage of the power of Substack. I actually started a tech tips channel, and one of the things that it focuses on is Substack and why you should use it. That's what that link goes to. But we now have to look objectively at why Twitter is restricting access to people linking to their published Substack articles, even putting up warning screens like below if a URL shortener is used. I'm going to show you that in a second. And this was Matt's tweet that already has over 1 million views from the other day. Okay, where he said that it was talking about notes, Substack notes. What is Substack notes? I said I disagree with Twitter's decision to personally, right?
And so I don't mean to cut you off. And again, just reiterate one more time. Elon Musk chose to no longer follow Matt Taibbi on Twitter.
Correct. He unfollowed Taibbi. That's right. It was petty. All right, he got upset because what Taibbi did was he said, I'm going to now leave Twitter and I'm only going to publish on Substack, and I'm going to use their notes feature, and now I'm going to be the guinea pig. Not only did Elon poke that bear, but now he's got one of these major Substack contributors that has a huge following embracing the notes feature where he might not have even paid attention to it before. It was so dumb on Elon's part, in my estimation. This was, by the way that they were censoring, this was a link to Substack, to our Substack, to the article, and they put this go back to the previous page.
It may be unsafe.
The button actually drives you back to Twitter, and you actually have to click this continue link to actually go forward and see the Substack. The whole idea is to push you back and to not link you to my website and to my article. And I said, this is making life difficult for both Twitter users who like to read Substack articles and Substack writers who use Twitter as the primary means to share their articles on social media. And I do. I share my articles. I share Misty's articles. I share INN articles. I also share them to Instagram and to Facebook and to YouTube and to Rumble and everywhere else. I think Twitter is overestimating their value here to Substack. However, these were my conclusions, and I decided to give you a Tarantino movie where I'm going to give you the answer up front, tell you what I came up with, and then give you the timeline as to why I think they actually did this. So first of all is that Substack isn't totally without fault here. They've been going after Twitter for 6 months. They quietly declared war on Twitter in November. Quote, The problem isn't that Elon Musk owns Twitter, it's that you don't. So right away, and this was literally like days after Elon took over Twitter, they saw what was happening in shitlib media, in corporate mainstream media, and in the independent media who had left mainstream media, freaking out about Elon's control over Twitter, and they decided they wanted to try to take some market share and grab some of these people and bring them over to Substack. On top of all of that, you've got the fact that Elon's an order taker with his military contract for SpaceX, Tesla, the Boring Company, Starlink for Ukraine. He hasn't had Twitter support going after NATO trollbots, and he listens to the people in power in the intelligence and military that are afraid of the accurate information exposing their lies and propaganda via Substack, a la Seymour Hersh and Nordstream, or Glenn Greenwald and Hunter Biden's laptop, right? We also know that Elon is not for free speech. He won't even comment on Julian Assange, for crying out loud. And he's been censoring left-wing voices and independent voices that challenge establishment narratives, left, right, and sideways. Scott Ritter's been on and off Twitter several times, as has Garland Nixon since Elon took over. I said, what's really interesting, and apparently I read somewhere else that Elon was trying to buy Substack and was frustrated that they didn't want to sell. But it's interesting that most of the writers that Elon picked for the Twitter files were Substack publishers. Was it to try to extricate them from the platform, or an attempt to drive a wedge between them? Only Elon knows, but it's an interesting thought. But Barry Weiss, Michael Schellenberger, Lee Fang, they all have Substacks. By the way, Lee Fang's Substack cleared out. I found that yesterday too. In the meantime, Substack has been making substantial improvements to the platform monthly over the past year. They've been transparent about what they're doing. If you go to their on.substack.com, I believe is their blog, where they have been putting their product improvements and what their changes in their roadmap every single month. They've been sharing that with all their users and anyone who wants to learn. They came out with last year iPhone and Android apps, which substantially increase user engagement, sharing between creators increased, and it saw an overall lift in subscribers to the platform. I certainly have seen a huge lift since the iPhone app came out last March. They've added tagging, like on Facebook, writer profiles, a new web reader, tons of functionality and features. Again, I love Substack. I love what they're doing. And I will say that Twitter wasn't trying to compete with Substack. Actually, quite the opposite. First of all, they bought Review, which was a competing program, a competing newsletter program. I thought it was a pretty good deal. You could kind of drag and drop and create your own thing. But they're shelving that at the end of this year. But Substack has been going after Twitter, because in November they launched this thing called Chat, where they were hoping to have the writer create a conversation amongst their subscribers. But now there's this thing like Notes, where you don't have to subscribe, but you could. It's almost like a news feed. And if you look at this, check this out. Watch this. Here's Notes. I'm going to show you what Notes is for 1 second here. Let's.
Looks great right there.
Hold on. So what they specifically lay out, like,
there it is.
That looks a lot like a Twitter feed, doesn't it?
Very similar.
That's
well, you know,
like
literally. Well, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me explain.
Or Substack,
what I'm seeing here. Let me explain what I'm seeing here. What I'm seeing here is something that has always triggered the old guard, and that is something new to challenge the old. And that's the way the world works, especially to everyone who's involved in business. Sometimes the new will replace something old. That's just how it is. And so if Substack is doing this for its writers, for its contributors, then I say more power to it. It's a way for authors, people who run Substack, to engage with their supporters, because let's face it, some supporters want to financially support said content creators, and that is of their own free will. But let's say there's a chance to engage with your audience even more so. I think that's beneficial for said authors, for said content creators, to engage with their audience, so their audience knows, like, hey, this is the person who I'm supporting. I get a chance to speak to them. I get a chance to talk to them and engage with them. Or like, hey, here's an update to something that you wrote about. You should check it out. I mean, there's a whole path here in which it can lead to more free speech. Now, the thing is, Twitter Elon, like all businesses, do have a beginning, middle, and end. Hell, at least MySpace went out with some dignity. You know, Tom, everybody's first true friend, just rode off into the sunset. He saw the writing in the wall. I was like, you know what? MySpace can't do this. It's time for me to leave. And we lost Tom.
Well, he sold to Fox, though. All right. So
yeah, he sold to Fox, but he rode off into the sunset.
Yes, he did. He disappeared forever.
I thought this was a free country. I thought we had free market.
So
I thought that
this is.
I didn't hear no bell.
And the guys at Substack saying that while notes may look similar to social media feeds, the key difference is what you don't see. Substack Network runs on paid subscriptions, not ads, and this changes everything. And wow, let me tell you, that really looks like a tweet, a retweet, a like, and a comment, and like it very similar. I could see why people at Twitter would be upset. By contrast, the lifeblood of a subscription network, okay, so an ad-based social network is attention. In legacy social networks, people get rewarded for creating content that goes viral within the context of the feed, regardless of whether or not people value it, locking readers into a perpetual scroll. Almost all the attendant financial rewards then go to the owner of the platform. By contrast, the lifeblood of a subscription network is the money paid to the people who are doing worthy work within it. Here, people get rewarded for respecting the trust and attention of their audiences. The ultimate goal on this platform is to convert casual readers into paying subscribers. And in this system, the vast majority of the financial rewards go to the creators of the content. So, yeah. And this is where Restack, quote, look at that, Restack. They've been calling it cross-posting also, but now Restack is almost like a retweet, right? I mean, it's awfully similar. And I can, again, understand why people at Twitter would be upset. So just wanted to point out why they've been going after Twitter and how, and why Twitter saw this as a direct threat. I also want to point out that API changes to Twitter were looking like it could cost Substack upwards of $100,000 a year or more.
That's
just
the
to
thing.
keep the API open to embed tweets. Right?
I've not seen anyone else talk about that. Right. And between this and what we know about Paperly recently running into similar problems, which is why Paperly is shutting down.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. It sounds like Twitter's trying to strong arm their competitors to use Twitter and pay them an exorbitant amount of money. We've also heard talk about Twitter do stuff like what brand checks, right?
Yep.
So like
gold
Nike,
checks.
That's it.
The way I would describe this is it's simple. It's like that episode of The Simpsons where Homer created a online business, and obviously he didn't know what the hell he was doing, so he gets a knock from Bill Gates and says, "I'll buy your stuff." And it's like, "Oh, great!" And Homer's like happy, like, "Yeah, sure, you could buy it." And Bill Gates says, like, "Everybody always does that." And then they proceeded to trash everything that was in Homer's office, and it was like, "Why'd you do this?" And he says, "Just because I hate competition."
Yeah.
Yep. That's what Elon's doing. So, and it's like Silicon Valley. So, but again, $100,000 a year. They're talking about $40,000 a month for businesses potentially in an expense that they get free right now to keep that API open. And that's a tremendous value that Substack offers to their readers or to their writers to be able to quickly and easily embed a tweet. And it's great. But Substack also recently announced that they were opening an ownership model for writers to buy into owning a small piece of the platform where they contribute for as little as $100 as opposed to Musk owning Twitter. No, they're not going public. No, they're not going public.
But they're allowing for shares. You can buy shares.
It's like a co-op.
Right.
Yes.
Oops. Yes.
More like a co-op. So Twitter is doing what it thinks it needs to in order to protect its business model and proprietary advantage, and it will likely backfire as it will engage fewer users than before. But I will also point out that Elon has a history of overreacting, and you've pointed this out to me several times, Reef, that he's got a history of overreacting initially, then dialing it back. Look what happened with Mastodon, and then he looks like a big hero for listening to everyone.
Yep.
So I did put together.
I could understand overreacting. I mean, that is
that
is here's the thing. We are all guilty of it. All right. Look, okay. And again, I know there's a lot of people not a fan of Elon Musk, but I see that as a human reaction because we're all human. And, that's as far as I wish to go. But he did overreact in regards to what Substack is doing. But he did go on the record saying that Twitter was going to be a platform for free speech. I think it puts Twitter in a bad light that
Terrible.
He is systematically going after Substack, because again, there's a lot of journalists, commentators on the left and on the right, libertarians and socialists that use Substack, and they are on Twitter and they have a huge Twitter following, and that Substack is still in its infancy. But by doing this, Elon Musk, you're proving yourself to be no better than the original management that was running Twitter, who were following marching orders from various government agencies to silence and suppress other free speech supporters and journalists and activists who are speaking truth to power. So, in other words, Elon, if you want to prove that you're different than these other people, the right thing to do, the correct thing to do, is just look, you overreacted. Take a step back, have a sip of tea, and
he can be a good boy, though.
Yeah,
he wants to be a good boy for all his masters, okay? So he's not going to do that because he's an intel simp. But on October 26th, here's the timeline. He took over Substack, or he took over Twitter, all right? And all of corporate media goes crazy. They go to Post and Ghost and Substack and Mastodon and Medium, and they start exiting the platform and freaking out about what right-wingers and why the playing field was leveled. They were starting to get banned and suspended, and they weren't protected like they were before. So Substack sees this meltdown and makes an appeal first to publishers on October 31st, bringing your Twitter followers to Substack. Very innocent and very kind of non-confrontational, but at the same time, instructional on what you can do. Happens to be just after Elon takes over. And then we have this inflammatory about that you don't own the platform, that if you're into reading and writing, few games on the internet for more fun than Twitter at its best. This is a great article by Hamish, who is one of the co-founders of Substack. Outstanding article. But it certainly declares war on Twitter and tells them that we've got them directly in our sites, and we want to empower publishers and creators, which I'm a fan of, but I also want to be part of a community. They are one of the largest social networks, and I thought there was a way that they could potentially work together, though people point out that Elon's not exactly trustworthy, and they said that they're not obligated to do so. But I see both sides of this. When they released chat for iPhone, all right, they said it's a new space for writers and creators. This was like their first attempt to take on Twitter, and it failed. It really has not taken off the way that they had hoped. It was only available in the mobile app. Now it's available on the web as well. And it's been weird because people don't know whether to use chat or comments or where they fit in both places. But they also, the same day that they announced chat, that's when Twitter said that they were shutting down the Substack competitor. So Substack should have started to back away, in my mind, on top of the fact that when Elon picked Substack writers to publish the Twitter files, it looked like he wasn't necessarily going after them, but at the same time, he might have been going after them like a little bighorn. Like, I'm going to take all your writers and get them on board, and then I'm going to try to make a play to buy your platform. That could be too. But then,
it is also something to point out. I see your point, Indy, where you're calling out like, hey, look, I see both sides, right? But on the other hand, too, you have to look at what people are also comfortable with, what people are used to.
Yep.
And, let's just remind everyone, it wasn't too long ago where MySpace was once something that everyone liked to use until Facebook came around, and it made people, it was more easier to navigate, and it was far more, I guess, easier. And I'm kind of going off with words here, but then when it comes down to Twitter, if you look at something like Mastodon, I mean, is it really competing with Twitter? Is it that new competitor? Is Locals, is Trump's social media doing any better? I mean, Twitter is a heavyweight. It all just depends on what people like to use. And if Substack can make something that's accessible and easy for people to use and understand and be part of their lives, then okay. Because we have to remember, we are bombarded with so many social media platforms, and sometimes people are burnt down. Like, I don't have time to create another account on another platform because I just don't care.
Yep. So they expanded group chat to the web. And then Twitter announces the API access fees. Now, this was the big thing that few people really had not talked about. But they talked about different tiers. And some of the app developers for Discord and the like have talked about this. Okay, but what they're talking about, there's a free access with only write access, with write only, so you can't even read a tweet, with the ability to post 1,500 tweets a month. Basic, which is $100 a month, will let you post up to 3,000 tweets per month. That's like nothing. That's how much my account posts at the user level, or 50,000 at the app level. The read limit is 10,000 tweets per month. That's, again, minuscule. Then you get into the enterprise level where they say it will cost upwards of 40,000 per month per reports. And they've got screen caps and what's happening. But here, various third-party tools have announced they'll be bowing out, which could see some of your favorite Twitter apps no longer working next time you log in. All right.
And that's all because that API costs how much again?
At minimum, $100 a month and upwards of 40,000 a month, depending on how deep you use, how much functionality of the API and how many calls you're making per day, per week, per month is what they look at. I actually used to sell API services for the automotive industry, so I'm quite familiar with what APIs are and how this works.
Like all the Discord bots are probably going to not do that anymore.
Yep, they're all starting to go.
There goes.
Yeah, here, look, Sprout Social, Hootsuite now need to assess whether the new changes will up their costs.
That probably.
If we'll see that it's worth it based upon the $9.99 per month that they're getting subscription fee per account. And then they have advanced ones. But it's really important, API access tiers to be deprecated over the next. This could be also something that they pull back in time. But it's going to hurt a lot of people, and it's going to put a lot of people out of work too. But while shutting these apps down, these are companies, these are salaries, these are developers that are being paid and working off of this stuff
Jobs.
Now. Yep.
Yeah.
So on April 5th, Substack announces notes. Okay. And then the next morning, somebody posts, this guy, Theo, if you're wondering why Substack's being suppressed, it's most likely due to them announcing notes, which is a Twitter-esque feed-like thing, which is I showed you. Right. So that was, and then here's Chris Best. He's one of the founders, where he's reporting that Twitter was throttling links. Right. There's Hamish McKenzie. You can follow him. Chris Best is another one of the subscribers.
Outstanding support. Hey, listen, folks, a lot of people in independent media are on Substack. There's a lot of stuff I want to be doing too, and hopefully I can be able to set up my own Substack too. More on that later. There's a lot of stuff that I'm working on, but I'll talk to you about all that later on too. But there we go. It is what it is.
So that was really the whole article that I wrote out, and I have a lot more. I had not, I didn't want to tell you that was already kind of long in itself, and I just thought it would get lost. But I was trying to explain more in plain language rather than giving a timeline. But I was like, you know what? Let me just put the timeline out there, start that. But it was more like, look, I use Twitter for certain things, right? To engage with people, gauge public sentiment, depth of knowledge about a story, or to fight with corporate stooges that are purveying such narratives. And many journalists and government officials have active accounts on Twitter. And instant publishing allows for real-time reporting like nothing else that's existed before. We're also fighting with fanboys and girls that get confirmation bias by watching MSDHS and Fixed News and others. And Twitter allows any random everyday worker to message a powerful or famous person with the very real potential opportunity that your message is going to get seen or heard, maybe even responded to. I personally get more out of the
what they're really upset about.
Yep, DMs.
And
group DMs.
Yeah.
I
agree.
That has the biggest value to be on Twitter. More than the news feed, and which is clogged with sponsored posts, my private DMs and group DMs, that's where 3/4 of my Twitter time is spent. But since Elon bought Twitter and took over, there have definitely been changes to which users were getting messed with, and the corporate media personalities friendly to establishment corporate uniparty, which is comprised of both Democrats and Republicans, started to experience what those who've been challenging narratives for years have been going through. So I started to write this up. I'm like, this is just going to become this epic thing, because you also have to take into account Taibbi testifying in front of Congress and the backdrop of corporate media going after Matt Taibbi and going after Substack writers in general. That's the thing I was
going to bring up.
Yeah.
That with really Medea Hassan talked to Elon and told him their spell check and grammar check on Substack isn't good enough. So,
look, Medea Hassan is the same guy who gave a lackluster defense of Julian Assange, saying, you don't have to like him. You don't have to like Julian Assange. But, it's kind of bad what's happening to him. But as we'll go into detail about who he truly is and what's happening to Julian Assange. So Medea Hassan, he's there with the establishment, BS, DNC. And unfortunately, we see so many people who were cheering at the fact that he was facing off against Matt Taibbi, and there were people saying, yes, corporate media, you vindicated my life again. You have told me things that I want to hear, that all these people are just bad people. When in fact, no one's looking into the real story of the Twitter files, and that is, holy cow, there's a lot of censorship happening on Twitter, but also the same thing was happening on Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg admitted that on Joe Rogan's show. So all that stuff happening on Twitter was also happening on Facebook.
Yep.
Is anyone going to talk about that?
Amen. Oh, dude, it was so much worse. And they've cut that. They shut down groups with tens of thousands of members with no warning, no nothing. I mean, I've heard all kinds of nightmare stories, but I think we're 90 minutes in, so I want to get to some boats. And we might have to make an adjustment. Everybody wants to get boats smashing into other boats. So, Kit, you're not familiar, maybe not, with How Do We Miss That? But the first half we do news, and then the second half, Reef shows us some Reddit cringe and some funny shit, and we try to forget about all this horrifying crap that we have to deal with on a daily basis. So, let's do it.
And I watch mindless boats that smash into other boats.
And that's Jimmy Dore, by the way. All right, so now I need to go to a card for 1 second, and let's go to our thumbnail, and you can check that out. And while we're doing that, I'm going to go into studio mode, and we're going to figure out exactly. Now, I got to pin Reef in.
By the way, have you guys seen the greatest creation of AI art and ChatGPT ever?
There's some good ones. The Balenciaga ones are pretty choice now.
Mine is President Evil 4.
Nice. That one's pretty good.
Yeah. No, it's Trump, Biden, Obama, Elon Musk
playing Resident Evil.
No, they're in a zombie apocalypse. It's set in an alternate world.
Perfect.
And it's great. It is frightening yet beautiful at the same time. And never have I ever thought I'd say these words, but I'm rooting for Trump to stop the zombies.
Boom. Okay, so we're good. We're good. We're ready to go to boats. Here we go. Boats.
Now you need to pin me, Kit. By the way.
All right. Now you're right. Now Kit needs to pin Reef so he can see what Reef's doing. I can turn off chat. And Kit's there. Reef's there. I'm there. Woohoo! We've got 3-man boats. Yeah, baby. We're doing this thing.
Look at that. We're doing it.
We're doing the thing. We've never done it. This is new.
It's time!
Nice.
Oh God. Well, you what? All right, boats. You say we got some of those. And action.
No!
Oh boy.
No!
Brakes! Oh! That's not good. That's no bueno. That's
that is no bueno.
That's
reminds
insurance.
Reminds me of that scene from from Married with Children, where Al Bundy's stopping his car and he's screaming, "No brakes! No brakes! No brakes!
No brakes! No brakes!" Me and Eddie are thinking of that bicycle guy now. The brakes!
No
the brakes!
Oh boy.
Anyway, and I gotta close this so it is the month of April, everyone.
420.
So we're here, right? So Orange, thing that used to be kind of fun but was ruined by the internet. That's April 1st.
Yep.
Right? And then we got
Hardlens Media's birthday, April 1st.
Happy birthday, Hardlens. And RBN, by the way.
Yeah, we are now 6 years old.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
So today, Jesus and I try to come back to life after a really rough weekend. The 18th, guessing how much I owe the government, even though they know exactly how much I owe.
That's right.
The 22nd seems like a bit of lost cause at this point. Right? And then blue is just everything costs more while we continue having less.
Have less.
And then there's 420. You should put a weed leaf on 420 at least.
Oh,
I know,
yeah,
I should've.
Yeah, what the heck?
All right.
I know,
What
right?
the heck?
Come on, dude.
But
Step it up.
well, we can have these instead. These are rose petal blunts, and I just feel like they're extra fancy.
They look like firecrackers,
You know?
actually. I thought they were firecrackers originally, but rose scented like stuff I'm not a big fan of personally, but okay.
No.
You go on with your bad self.
Your American
Like the rose band. I'm
tradition.
thinking like no, we had a teacher at like our high school that used to bathe in that like rose milk stuff, and man, it stunk to high heaven. Like it's just traumatizing.
What's that movie with was it was Costner, right?
Yeah.
American
yeah.
Beauty, American something or other, right?
No, that
with
was
the rose
Kevin-
petals and
that's
the
Kevin Spacey.
cheerleader.
That's Kevin Spacey.
That's it.
That's the creepy one.
That's it. Yeah. The one that pretended to be president for a while. So this one's funny. Traffic stop yields approximately 7 grams of suspect marijuana.
What?
Right?
What?
Like,
Dude!
7
Officer
grams.
Thomas, get the fuck
Oh
out of
my
here.
god, dude.
I've seen bigger busts on Paw Patrol.
Nice.
Like,
That's
There's
right.
more credibility. There's more credibility
Yakuza.
in fake scenes on adult websites than on this than anything
Yeah.
here. I mean, come on. When you're being outdone by adult video production companies, I mean, come on. That's 7 grams.
Yeah, that's a
That's so-
a quarter. That's a quarter.
Oh wow.
That's-
You saved the world there, buddy.
That's a crazy weekend for me, but that's not even so crazy.
legal weed is cool and all, but I miss buying from dudes like this.
Yep. The
Just
roaming
that
gnome.
little guy.
Yep.
Yep.
Sure.
He seems like he's from Chicago, that little guy. I don't know what it is.
What's that
You know?
supposed to mean? What's that
Like he's
supposed
over
to
there
mean?
by the
hanging out-
breweries
he's
and
hanging on the
whatnot.
L. He's hanging out on the L train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So we got 3 grandpas on a bench. Oh, Kit hasn't seen my fancy new thing, so I have magic powers, Kit.
Oh yeah, you do.
Right?
Let's hear it.
We can go back in time before the days of copyright infringement.
Oh, really? Okay.
Just by doing this. Look at
this.
that. Look at that.
Make it old school.
Look at this.
And then he can even put the fair use over if he wants to. But
Eugene.
Hey.
Stop. You sound like a damn llama.
I'm sorry. These gummy bears are so damn good.
Well, then hook your brothers up. Yeah.
Oh.
They taste a little weird.
Yeah.
those are good gummies.
Where'd you say you got these?
My grandson's room.
Oh, no.
What? The grandson that sells the bongs? Bongs? The glass things.
Oh, those beautiful vases.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Quick, put your fingers down my throat. What the hell are you talking about? I want to throw up. I'll give you the hind squeeze. Do it. No.
How did I get so lucky to have such great friends?
We should start a business. Uber for grandparents. Yeah.
There's no way there's no aliens out there.
I can taste my tongue.
I can't feel my nipples.
Your grandpa's on a bench.
I can't feel my nipples. Yeah.
God, I remember like really getting some good weed and just how I remember. Geez, this was like, oh my goodness, I forget how many years ago it was, but I remember there was a whole bag of Doritos, and I was looking at every Dorito, like looking at it and eating it, going in there, looking at the other one.
Nice.
Yeah, there you go. Like, hey, just acknowledging that each Dorito was different.
Like a snowflake.
Like a snowflake.
It's a precious little
someone
snowflake.
make that t-shirt for like with like the quote from Kit, like Doritos are like snowflakes.
Each one is different.
Each
and
one is
each one
different.
is special.
There you go.
Yeah. Speaking of special, I brought this for you, Kit.
The Emperor protects. The Emperor protects. As always, let's face it, we must stand against the heretic, the Xeno, the mutant, the traitor.
I just thought this is really well done.
I
Thank
said
you,
no
Chad.
Warhammer
These
talk.
are really good.
I beg no Warhammer talk. No Warhammer talk.
The Emperor is here. And let's face
Pope
it, hey,
Francis.
Look,
Pope Francis as the Emperor.
I'm going to make it very clear here. I'm going to make it very clear here. Do not believe in the decadent lies of the Federation and their democracy. Do not believe in the lies of the Jedi and their new republic. Trust in the God Emperor of mankind and his glorious Imperium.
Yeah.
That sounds like a Sith
I wish
to me.
you do. Dude, let's be honest. The Empire is like the most evil, the most metal, evil human thing possible. It is space super Nazis, but they're the good guys in this story somehow.
Correction. It is a theocratic, fascist, corporatist, oligarchic empire. But the realm of Ultramar is a true meritocracy. Long live the 500 worlds.
At least we got
Look,
into
the
boats
only
before we got to
people I
Warhammer.
understand are the Slanesh, like the people that are just super spicy, sexy time planet. They have their priorities right.
Do not trust in the Slanesh, and bad cookies. Do not trust in the Necron tier.
The Necron tier.
Hey.
Yeah, the Necrons.
We're gonna start breaking out dice next, and
oh boy,
what? I
if
also
you're
brought
on
this
Rumble,
for
your
Kit.
fake views on Rumble. Chat, say hi, say something. Rumble, we don't believe that you exist.
This is what they modeled the Chicago bean after.
Yep.
This?
That is the kidney bean after Chicago. Wow, Heinz. That's one bean in a can. Oh my god. That's called
big bean.
That's called your kidney. That's called your kidney. They harvested your kidney. That's disgusting. Wow.
I'm not a fan. Here's the thing: the bean is an interesting sight, but after seeing it once, like you're just like, okay, there it is. Like it's irrelevant. But I know that New York City recently put in their own bean as well. To which one of my friends from New York sent me this, and I just sent back to them. So New York City decided to flick its own bean. I mean, steal our bean.
That's very good.
Nice.
This is just to see if this is one of those inebriation checkpoints. We have to make sure we're inebriated enough for the rest of boats.
Let's see.
Action.
Whoa.
Whoa.
What?
I mean,
how?
Huh?
Whoa. See now that's one of those like nightmare scenarios where you're like falling down a pit,
right?
You never get to the bottom.
Is doing dishes in your sleep.
I'm seeing stars now. Okay, that's good.
Well, that's good.
Nice.
Here's a star.
Oh,
Sean Bean looks like all three Stooges put together.
Penn, not
Look at
Sean
that.
Bean. Yes.
Look,
Sean Penn.
I am going to make a prediction here. All right, and I hope I'm wrong on it, but there's going to be some movie producer and some studio that's going to have starring good old Sean Bean, Sean Penn, or however you say his name.
Sean Bean.
You know,
that's a different guy entirely.
We're still thinking about the big bean from earlier. Is the problem?
So here's the premise of the movie. It's gonna be like good old Shawnee boy here. He's gonna be like some sort of ex-secret agent, super spy soldier, right? And he's gonna have some sort of like mission in Ukraine. Like he's gonna start off like this humanitarian thing. He's gonna have a love interest that's probably way his junior.
I enjoy it.
And it's going to be about him stopping Russians, and it's going to be him in Ukraine. It's going to be one of these pieces that's going to make all the liberal vote blue, no matter who. People be like, oh, wow, that was such an action-packed movie and so relevant to what we're seeing today. Trust me, the script's going to write itself.
Get that face off. Oh, my God, that face. Oh, it's haunting.
God,
please, it's haunting. Stop. That's got to be AI. They had to do something with AI and make it like worse, but... Okay, that is definitely a stoned Easter bunny.
Like this Easter bunny is knocked the fuck out.
The Easter bunny's just like I just had it up to here with all these kids.
He just got peed on.
Yeah,
this is like flashbacks to Nam. Like that's what I see. Oh,
Nice.
this is
What's
like
next?
a terrible Rorschach test. So
Oh.
is this allowed?
No, it's
Is
heresy.
this allowed?
No, it's heresy.
This is called the triple threat. It's a pepperoni pizza slice, garlic knots, and a calzone all in one.
Get rid of it. It offends me.
Get rid of it. It offends me.
I'm kind of down with it, actually.
It offends me.
It's
It
Jersey.
It offends me.
That speaks Jersey to me all day, because you could you could tear off the actual triangle slice, fold that up, and then you got yourself a nice calzone with those garlic knots. Those garlic knots will sit in your belly for a week. You can eat those things for a week. All right? That calzone's a meal in itself. You got 3 meals right there. How many people you feed with that thing?
Just I tell you what, if you're gonna eat something like that, go the first day without eating anything, and then buy that slice the next day, so that way you just have to have that whole day to digest it. Okay, there you go.
That's right. Kit's not high enough, according to Bryce Smith. I'd rock it. That's right.
More
Yeti.
More pizzas. Here we
Yeti
go.
gained 5 pounds.
Watch
Looking at this. Welcome, Yeti. Good to see you, man.
It's the Yeti. For those of you who
Right.
don't know the Yeti line, if you ever seen Halloween Havoc in 1993, there was a Dungeon of Doom, and they had a character called a Yeti, but he wasn't some sort of like hairy monster. He was a mummy.
Nice.
Look it up. Look
That's
it up.
interesting.
Yeah. And as soon as he was walking on the stage, it's the Yeti.
What are we cooking pizza on here?
One of those wood-fired ovens. It's going to be delicious.
Nice.
Okay.
Oh.
That's a Chicago pizza fail right there.
No,
Actually,
it's
that's-
not.
No, that's
Actually, no,
Italy.
that's a
That's
New York-
Italy
that's
fucking
a-
this up.
That's a New York
That's
pizza.
Italy.
Oh, come on, man.
That's Italy.
Come
That's
on,
Italy.
man. Oh, come on.
I really
man.
hope that's not pineapple either.
Ooh. No, that was
Is that
definitely
pineapple on there?
that was mozzarella cheese. You could see when he was putting it out there, but come on, man. There might have been some
Like-
ham and pineapple and onions on there, sure.
I think that's ham and pineapple. Yeah, I think that's
well,
not that I'm necessarily upset at that.
then
Really,
he deserves it.
but
Rob Van Dam. What? Oh, okay.
we made
it's
it
done
to
like this. Rob Van Dam.
Somebody
And
had to
that-
do. See, I can't do that because I'm a disembodied voice with no thumbs on here, so I can't do that.
There you
But
go.
yes, I was
But-
doing it in
but-
spirit.
But my favorite is Sandman, and obviously, if you ever seen his reaction to when he got crucified on the cross by Raven and his flock, that is classic ECW. And the fact that Kurt Angle had a
and
rage.
such a Easter, like a lovely Easter message there as well.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's right.
You know?
But do you want to know what's funny? Do you want to know what's funny? Is that that incident didn't take place in Easter. Kurt Angle rage quit, and then Paul was trying to tell Raven, "You have to go out there and apologize." And Sandman, who got crucified, was like, "No, Raven shouldn't apologize. He's supposed to be an asshole. He's supposed
That's
to
right.
be this thing. He's supposed to do this." And then they were telling me he has to redo the match. And Sam was like, "Hell no, it's not even Easter. I can't be resurrected yet."
And then they
Because he
all
was on
took
a goddamn
over.
cross.
Then they all took
Yeah.
over Vince's company and made him a gazillionaire again, many times
Yeah.
over. But yeah,
Yeah,
EC Dub, you know, go old school. Tommy Dreamer.
And by the way, if you ever want to see something frightening, check out New Jack's promo. Honest to God, that's the one person I would never ever want to run into. New Jack. New Jack kept it real. New Jack almost killed a man.
Oh boy.
Hell,
All
he almost killed a lot of people. New
that
Jack.
was for you. That was for you, Rick Solis. We got Kit talking wrestling. But all right, so what do you got? I see ice cream and I see kids. We're in Dad Zone.
We're in Dad Zone.
Oh,
we
boy.
made it. All right. We gotta teach him how to be a barista young now.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
You know.
Oh boy. That's
Oh.
okay.
Oh.
Nice.
Okay.
Good. Then what?
Okay.
Now we're gonna foam it.
All right.
Put our whipped cream.
Yeah. Now what do I do?
Oh, you eat it.
I'm not sure. That kid was not happy with his whip. Dude, whipped cream's good stuff. You got to learn.
Yep.
They'll learn you. We'll learn you. What? Oh,
so
no.
speaking of Easter messages,
no.
They didn't crucify no kid.
Oh my God.
What? Anyway, this is better than you think.
Wait, what? Oh my God. What is going on?
That's almost on par with Life of Brian, you know.
What is happening here? What? Oh my God.
It's Easter, dude. It's Easter.
That's
like, it's Easter. Look at this kid.
No.
Look at him.
Oh God.
No.
It'll be fun and games, they said. Trust me, they said.
Look at that Orlando Magic tank top. I like it.
I know it's the way you.
That's what I see.
Anyway,
not that they're stringing up a kid
to
a cross.
Yeah.
It's the Orlando Magic outfit. That's right.
Father, forgive them, for they have no rhythm.
That's right.
They have no rhythm. That's fantastic.
And they wear turquoise.
Are you the Burger King today, Randy?
Maybe. Cheeseburger, Randy. We are big fans of cheeseburger.
Action.
Corey, what are you doing?
Picking some seeds so we can grow some hamburgers.
You're picking seeds so that we can grow hamburgers?
I love it.
Seems reasonable.
You think it's going to work?
Yeah.
So if you plant those seeds in the ground, we're going to grow hamburgers.
Yeah, but we have to put them in a pot first.
I'll put them in a pot first.
You do have to put them in a pot.
Let them grow up, and then they will be good forever.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Seems reasonable. Seems reasonable. All right.
God, I wish.
All right, kid.
Man, do I wish. If I could plant.
What's the 89 car?
If I could plant sesame seeds. No, that's not the 89 car. I don't know what that is, but.
What is it? What is that? What is this?
There is no 89
That's 89.
Car. I know that, but there's no NASCAR 89 right now. Hasn't been for a long time. There was 88 for a while, but. Anyway. But yeah, I wish we could plant sesame seeds and grow hamburgers. That would be awesome.
It'd solve a lot of things, wouldn't it?
Sure would.
So school's back in session. He roared at him.
Nice.
She's like, that's not a good start. That's not how we start.
Yeah, Care Bear. That was actually Care Bear's school. That was over at Collins School.
Probably.
Yep.
Mastermind hour. Get your mind out the gutter. I dated a girl that had a burger bush.
Burger
bush.
Hey.
Come on, buddy.
That's pretty good.
Oh.
This is how he should have done it. This right here.
There you go.
Oh, that's adorbs.
Yep.
So we go from Dad Zone, and we're still in. No, boy.
we're still in Dad Zone. So this is that.
I can see this.
What'd you call it earlier, Kit? The cell phone. What did you call that earlier?
The Library of Alexandria.
That's got it. Watch what it does.
Can I see this?
Oh my God!
Like,
oh man! Oh my God! Kitty crack!
That's better.
Literally kitty crack. Literally kitty crack. Put that light in front of my eyes. Oh my God! I love it. Oh
Come on, man! I'm doing my live stream right now. I'm on Twitch.
It's Facebook.
On
Twitter.
Twitch.
Damn it! Elon Musk is banning Substack, and this kid is pissed.
Yep.
More.
Fucking give it my
We're doing
shit
it
back,
again.
dude.
Just throw the phone at the kid. Be like, here.
There you go.
Oh
my God. This might be the cutest thing on the internet ever.
Okay, like, much better. Thank you.
I see this magic fire. It's at my fingertips.
Wow. I remember those days.
What else we got? Oh, this one's pretty good. Jameson doesn't care. I mean, you did name it Jameson. Like, I feel like that's your fault. You know?
Jameson, did you eat Emma's cake?
No, I didn't eat cake in my hand.
Where's the cake at?
In my hand.
You didn't put it in your mouth?
I put it in my hand.
Well, go give it back to her. No, don't you eat that cake.
He's like, no, man. I just put it in my hand. I didn't do anything.
I do nothing.
Like,
holy shit.
Oh, this kid though definitely did something. This kid definitely did something.
Let's see. Okay, what we got here?
Oh, take the cookie.
Excuse me.
Cookie.
Excuse me.
Like the fuck, and come back here.
Oh my God. That kid run out of the street?
Yeah.
Jesus. Oh my God.
Yo.
What did I just see? Was that a crime?
Snatch and grab.
No, I
Hey,
think.
don't, dude. Snitches get stitches, dude. You saw nothing.
I think the kid being out away from his parents is the crime that I was talking about. Not the kid stealing the food. Oh, this is great. I love seeing stuff like
Gotta make
this.
sure. Okay, I've got it.
Perfect.
Say perfect.
Perfect.
Say perfect.
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 Say perfect.
Perfect.
Say perfect.
Fuck it.
Say perfect.
Fuck it.
Yeah, fuck it is right. Perfect. She's perfect. Amen, brother. Love it. I say perfect.
Here we go. We got a bit of comedy. Action.
Okay. A couple. All right, you raised your hand, so hopefully.
4 months old.
Then where's your child now?
In Qatar.
In Qatar?
That's the kid who stole that stuff.
At least 2 follow-up questions. Who is the baby with, and why are you here? Those are the first 2. You need a break. 4 months into a lifelong journey, you're like, take this thing. I can't.
I need a break.
How long are you away from him for?
10 days.
10 days?
Some.
Wow. It's like, I don't know math, but that feels like 10% of his life. Is that true? Is that... That's a pretty big percent. All right.
He's like, where are these people?
Clearly not a parent of an infant. I've had 3.
Who are you guys?
I would go away for 10 days now.
You're the father?
Yep.
Oh, so you both left the kid.
That's right.
That's great. So you're like, you guys. So you're like, I need a break too. I'll come with you. Do you miss him? Are you FaceTiming him every day, or have you cried yet?
No.
Away from him?
No.
You cried every day.
Nah.
But now I have to go back.
Now to go back.
She's like, I want to go back, but the tickets are non-refundable. What am I gonna do?
By the way, Comedy Cellar. I actually had my bachelor party at the Comedy Cellar of all places. That's kind of funny in New York City.
Well, what happens at the Comedy Cellar stays. I thought we went over this.
That's great. But as a parent of 3, I do understand wanting to potentially leave for 10 days if you've been dealing with 24 hours of feeding and all the nonsense.
And all the crying. There you go.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So much crying. So much crying. Anyway.
Catch this goodness.
Mais là encore, hein. J'en ai d'autres. Les gars dans ma classe.
Well, we've seen this. Somebody's going flying. Oh, there's one.
Oh! Oh, God.
Oh!
Ah.
No.
Ah.
That hurt. That was not cool. No, I don't. Oh, no. Don't need to see it again. Thank you.
I mean, it sounds like you needed to see it again. If I'm going to be honest.
No, it sounded
like it did sound like you needed to see it again.
Definitely not. But other people maybe. See, we're losing people left and right. We're down to 32.
No.
See?
Have you ever gotten your kid an X-ray? Have you ever gotten your kid an X-ray?
Oh.
This is what they do.
Oh my God.
Educational purposes. Here we go.
Like,
dude, but no,
No, dude, this seems like something from 40K, man.
I remember having to hold like one of my kids down to get like a thing on her leg. They wanted to take a thing on her leg because they were worried that she was that little. Oh my God, that's scary, man.
That's the baby tube. You put them in the baby tube.
Mommy didn't seem too worried, but damn, man, damn. Oh shit. Okay.
Bro, Def did not want to go to school, is what this one is called.
Oh!
Like,
did he just blow up the tire?
Bro.
Yeah, here, catch it.
Dude.
Oh shit! He popped the tire.
Damn.
Oh,
He's straight up like we are not not going to school today.
I'd be pissed.
You'd be pissed.
Oh, I'd be real pissed.
All right, where we go? This one's good. Look at the face.
Nice.
Yo, you see that?
That's a face.
This is how I react to hibachi too.
Oh my God. That's great.
Little paper face.
Oh my God.
All right.
Wow.
What else I got? And next thing. Oh.
Yep. Good poppers.
Good poppers.
Poppers. Now, what's this human doing? Hold on. Gotta get up. Oh, what are you doing? Hold on. What are you doing?
Oh.
Okay, look, you see me by the door. All right. Nope. Come on.
Oh, he's gonna block the kid from going out. Smart.
There's no negotiation here, human. Yeah, you might feed me, but listen, I let anything bad happen to you, and I ain't gonna get fed again.
Like,
holy shit.
All right.
Is that a window or a door?
I think it's like just a door.
Looks like there's a drop off though.
All right,
damn,
go this way.
That is a smart ass dog. Oh my God.
Come on.
Just fucking
go that
stay
way.
in here.
Just go that way. Oh.
No, there's no negotiation. You could boot my snoot, but no, you
we stay in here.
We stay in here.
It's a patio door.
Big lady said.
Steps, yeah. There was definitely steps down. That's a little scary.
He'd go flying.
Uh-oh. The whole thing's going flying.
Damn, if it would break.
Damn, if it would break, like, I think
He's
somebody's
just enjoying
asking
life
for
right
it.
now, poor fella. I would hate it for him if it would break though. Damn.
It's almost like he called it. Almost like he called it. Did they rig that? Did they rig that? Spoke into existence, right?
Yeah, it could be.
Oh my God, it's a go poppers. We gotta go poppers. Oh, he goes down. All right. Oh, up.
Dog knows how to squat.
Up.
Nice. He's got strong legs.
There you go.
Dude, you do not need a Malinois like learning to squat. You don't need You don't need that.
That's great. That's love it.
I just thought that was cute.
Yeah, bad cookies. He loosened the bolt. That's exactly right. He knew that thing was going to fall.
Did you know? Did you know cats grow on trees?
Well,
did you know?
We don't necessarily know that for sure. This looks like AI art, fake news.
I mean, this is
Call the fire department.
Proof. You just have to trust the science.
Call the fire department.
Call the fire department. All right, what else? Oh, this one's good. Squirrel. Fucking get this shit out of here.
Goddamn humans.
With your fucking plastic. Like this fucking it's in the way and shit. Fucking Steve with your fucking shit. Like he fucking fell off of it. Like wee. Like anyway. And this is just, I don't know if people have seen some weird shit like this, but might as well show people. This is grouper, what do they call this? Big mouth something, gulper eel. That's what it is.
Okay.
That's it.
Oh my god. Look at that. Wow.
Goodness.
Look at his little face.
He's got like googly eyes. I think he ate
It's
much.
it's coming right for us.
He's full.
No. It's like that Jaws 3D.
Oh, those looks like the gill archer? The gill?
Some kind of
What
whoa.
is it?
It just got so big.
Watch it open the mouth.
It's all bladder. Oh my god.
That's his defense. Like, let me blow up so I can show him how big I am.
Incredible. Wow.
Yep, he's doing the shake.
It's
Ooh, like
Is that a gold?
he just does a weird. His mouth folds open,
What? Okay.
and then he's an eel.
Okay.
He just makes himself look ginormo.
Have you guys seen that video of that guy who was in a Shark Tank and like a shark cage and like the great white like breaks open the entire like steel cage?
I've seen that. I've seen one where it was a plexiglass cage.
Oh hell yeah, dude!
Yeah, like
that's a whole other show, guys.
Fucking wild.
That's a whole other show.
Yeah, we're not gonna be able to show that. That was like I saw a ballistic gelatin dummy hit by a tank round today, and I was like, I can't bring that, even though it's not a human. Definitely can't bring that.
Yeah, sharks are terrifying, bad cookies. I agree. Absolutely.
Oh, it's Kitty. Kitty's gonna try to jump.
Go.
What's
jump.
with the squares?
Oh, he whiffed it.
It's a rug. It's designed on the rug.
Oh, it looks like poop all over the rug. Yes, that is a pattern.
Terrible design, though.
Oh, I did not make it. I did not make it to the couch.
You didn't make it at all.
Nope. Nope.
What else you got?
That's a fail.
Oh, hey! Look who it is.
It's Chance the Snapper.
How'd you get in here?
Chance the Snapper.
It's Kit.
He always gets so excited when I take him to the dog park.
My Komodo dragon.
You know, like, there's a gator. I'll take my gator on down to the dog park. Oh yeah, this one's just called "Dogs Are Pretty Smart," and action.
Why you should always trust your dog's instincts.
No, it's okay, boy. He spooked about something. Something's been following us. And I can just hear it. No, boy. Come on. It's okay. Come on.
What the hell is it?
Come on.
It's something.
No, boy. No.
Oh!
Holy shit.
Oh,
that's
shit.
a bobcat.
Like, that's
that
a fucking,
no bobcat. That's a goddamn lion.
That's a lion, dude.
Hey,
that's a lion.
Look at Karen.
Like, Fucking
wow.
Like Tiger King's gonna have to come out here and deal with this. This is gonna be.
That's not a mountain lion. That's a regular lion.
That's a regular lion.
Simba.
Lucas Kitty. Gato Negro.
It's Black Cat Lion. I get it.
Yeah. I just thought it was very, very cute. Just like this one, which people might have saw on Twitter. And action. Cat doesn't care. Like he's just up there. Like all right, this is what we're doing.
That takes like mega concentration to keep.
Yeah, dude, I would have definitely failed at that. I would have been like
focus.
Yeah.
I'd be like, ah. Oh,
so,
boy. Exploding manholes.
Oh, boy, here you go.
Our infrastructure
come on,
is doing well.
Keep it family friendly, exploding manholes.
Oh, let's do.
Smells like subway electricity.
Like,
what the hell's happening down there?
Turtle power, dude.
Turtle power. Turtle
Pizza,
power.
Dude. Pizza power, dude.
Oh, it's these are three things. It's the Chuds, the cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers. It's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
What else?
That's just like.
Okay. 14th Street. I've been there. That's not that far away.
Have you guys ever seen Chud? Have you guys ever seen Chud?
No.
I vaguely remember it.
There's a line in the film when they're about to go to City Hall and they're gonna reveal to the mayor and all the other politicians like, hey, there's mutants underground New York City, and the police detective goes to the key witness and says, hey, get your stuff ready. We got a date downtown. And I'm like, hey, aren't you gonna get him some flowers first?
Yep.
Hey, come on, don't laugh. I said, hey, date downtown. You think you get him some flowers. Here.
Sure.
Watch this shit.
Uh-oh.
This is just heartbreaking.
No.
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 No. Oh, he's so fired.
Yeah.
He's so fired.
Fuck off. Wee, that sound of like the thing going
fired.
down.
He's so fired. He's like, oh, I'm fucked now. Nothing I can do.
He's done.
Oh, look at it.
Oh,
like,
the fiberglass frame just trashed.
Oh. That's just terrible.
A little bit of Bondo, you can fix that, right?
A little bit of
shoe polish. Buff right out. Little buff
shoe
right
polish.
Out.
Shoe polish will fix it. I promise.
Yeah, fingernail polish.
It's the one that slammed from the top, like from the front when the front slammed down. Oh, that was the bad one.
I got it.
This is just when you're bored in Louisiana. You just watch the trees grow. This is what we do. We watch them grow.
No. Oh my God. What? They're gone.
Yo.
What?
That's a sinkhole right there.
Oh my God.
It's a salt mine collapse.
Bye. Oh my God.
Oh, salt domes got punctured.
Really? Because I don't know what this is. That's a salt. Wow.
Yeah, this is Louisiana, so there's classically a real bad salt mine tragedy around that, but like it just happens naturally too. That it's a dome of salt or whatever that, like, if water penetrates that dome, it's gonna do that. Similar to how like limestone sinkholes kind of, but even worse.
Okay, yeah, because like
larger cavity.
Yeah, because obviously if all that salt is condensed and then the water gets in there, that salt's gonna just just go away.
Yep.
Oh damn, dude.
Prolapse salt hole, as Mastermind says. Damn, dude, all those trees. Bye.
Bye. Yep, and all that water. Can you tell me what this has on it? What is?
Those
what does this device do? Yeah.
Yo.
Like.
It's USB powered.
Like, what is that? Yeah, like, what is that? What does that do?
Well, you know what?
What is that?
I know what it is. I know what it is. I know what it is. This is the prototype test make. This is a prototype for what will eventually be the Matrix. See, the fish are dreaming that they're in the ocean. So
gotcha.
there you go.
So if they take the red krill
and some fish,
the red krill or the blue krill, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep. And so
that's terrible. The red pill.
Yeah, those. Yeah. So there you
go.
Red fish, blue fish.
That just stopped me dead in my tracks. He did it. That did it.
All right. Guess what we're having?
Guess what day it is? I can't even laugh. It's Taco Tuesday. Now take me for tacos.
Mom, you're not wearing that to lunch.
Oh, fuck, I am. It's fucking Tuesday, so let's go.
I love it.
I want lunch. Tacos.
You want lunch? Tacos? Oh, man.
Tacos.
We're not. Take off the hat, and then we'll go get some tacos. No.
No. So this is just called crisscross applesauce in the wild. Hi, I'm Johnny Knoxville, and this is the crisscross. And action.
Holy shit.
Wow.
Man, bro.
Dude,
Damn.
buy a lottery ticket, like, because you just got lucky, son.
Damn.
Like, real lucky. What? Hello?
Damn.
I pressed the button. There we go.
Damn. That would haunt me.
Latest and greatest on Twitch, doing it up. You know, trying to get those subs. You know.
Fuck, dude, how do I do this?
Anyone want to tell him?
Unplug it.
No.
Oh shit!
He's not standing there anymore. What?
That's kick.com/the goose is loose. That's the goose is loose. Go show some support to the goose is loose.
Dude, dumbass. Dumbass. Fucking dumbass.
Yep. You don't stick a fork in the toaster. Come on. Oh god, this is just funny because
well actually, speaking of electricity, because there's a story, and I have to confirm it's real. Hold on, like there was a dude who urinated on the third rail on one of the CTA lines, and the electricity like went right back and hit him in the chest. So you know,
yep.
Don't pee on the third rail.
Yeah,
folks.
don't whiz on the third rail, folks. Definitely.
But now, this only applies to men because only we have that special ability to, you know, reach that distance. All right. Hashtag everyone's equal, but only men can pull this off. So men, don't do it. Ladies, don't do it either. So there you go.
Don't do it either.
No, definitely not.
Watch these cops in Europe be cops.
Oh, not the Beverly police. I'll come for Richard like this.
All right, Dylan, it's Gav, by the way.
I know it's Gav.
Right, we're going to put the door in. So,
Gav, listen.
Right. I ain't messing about. With the information that's been given, we're going to put the door in.
Listen, I'm not messing about, yeah?
Right, that's fine, but I'm just making it clear to you, open the door and we're putting it in.
Listen, Gab, I will tell you something now. I'm not in that property, so you do what you want, yeah? Like you did to every other cunt's house. You won't get in that door anyway.
So we'll find out anyway, but I'm just having a...
Go on, hurry up, then.
Alright.
He's saying he's not in there.
Go on, big lad.
He also said you're not going to get in that door.
Yes. How the hell is it reinforced?
It's a good door, lad.
It's a very good door. Listen, you need chainsaws coming through that, lad.
Hey, we're getting sooner, I'll let you know we will, so...
Listen, but I'm not in there.
Well, we'll find out.
Yes, you will find out, Gab. I you telling nothing.
That's where it ends. We'll never know.
All right,
we'll never
Gav.
know if he gets in.
Yeah, Gav, I'm guessing at some point he'll get in, but...
Yeah.
It's like Kwame Ture says, eventually, you sit down. You get tired. What in fresh hell?
What's this?
Just, the next theater show.
Is that like anything to the bang? Oh, sliding down. He's laughing his ass off. Look at him. He gets him a high five. I think that was intentional. I think that was intentional.
Oh, this was intentional for sure. When you're playing like Wii Sports on the couch, what is that ball speed, like 100, like 200 miles per hour? You playing the big strike game?
What?
Oh, if I owned that spot, I'd be like, hey, assholes, y'all are paying for that.
You just bought yourself a bowling alley.
Yeah.
Damn. That was a shot. Nice slingshot.
Oh, Jesus.
That was slightly off in its estimation in the mathematics, folks.
In the mathematics? No. It's all about geometry.
All about geometry.
It's all about geometry.
Yes, that's right, Shaq.
All right.
And a Pythagorean theorem.
Which has now been proven by 2 students in New Orleans, apparently.
Nice. Proud of them.
Yes.
This is when you ask someone to film your TikTok.
Will you hold my phone so I can make a quick TikTok? Thank you so much. It's already recording and ready to go. Thank you, kind soul.
Like just that. Like why?
I'm gonna scare the hell out of some people today.
There's a lot of
There's so much to unpack there.
There's
so much to unpack there.
You have to explain this one for me too. And action.
Dude, these are the birds that are outside my window. Like they sit on my chimney.
Yeah.
I swear I have.
I got this one bird that I think that's been around for. It's called. Every summer, I know that bird is just there. I'm just like, God damn, please shut the hell up. Let a falcon, because I one time in front of my house, there was like this peregrine falcon that I saw kill a pigeon. I'm like, oh, you just got to kill that bird that's whispering in my window. I'll be so happy, Mr. Peregrine Falcon.
That's crazy.
Nice. So this is just to give Kit flashbacks.
What's this?
You know.
Yo, Dave, get up and do it. Get up and do it. Do your thing. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. There it is. Do it. Do it.
Brains.
Do your dance. Sit down. Sit down.
Do your dance.
Sit down. Man, do your dance in the chair. Make
Yes, Drill Sergeant.
Man, bring it down, rock. Something funny, y'all? Yeah. Something funny? You want to dance?
I
think those were police. I think those were police officers or sheriffs or something.
Yeah,
because they don't look like Marine Corps or Army.
No, what's with the face diapers though?
Do it. There it is. Do it.
How are you covering their nose?
Do your dance. Sit down. Sit down. Just do your dance. Sit down.
Look at his dance.
The chin strap.
Do it. Do it. Do it. There it is. Do it. Do it. Do your dance. Sit down.
Chair dance.
Sit down.
Chair dance.
Chair, make the chair rock.
Make the chair rock.
This one is just from Took Too Much, and when a little push sends you to the Wonderland.
What? What the hell?
Oh, he's gone. There you go.
What? Where is that? Me gusta. Yeah, there's the I like button.
There you go.
Wow. I love his buddy behind him just giggling. Great. Okay.
He's tripping on acid going down the grass. That is correct.
Okay.
That is what's happening.
Nice.
So we were talking about golf the other day.
I'm Johnny Knoxville. Look at a jackass.
Yep, pretty much.
God damn it! What, Joe? God fucking damn it, dude! God damn it!
Oh, that's
what are you doing, dumbass?
Good.
That's a face plan. God damn it.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Here we go. This is just drunk shenanigans.
Wait.
Next person who says
Bam got arrested again? Hold on, I've seen a license check. He did?
Yeah, I heard that too.
Oh my God. Oh God, he needs help.
Yeah.
He needs
Next
help.
person that says shenanigans is gonna get pistol whipped.
What's that restaurant with all the goofy shit on the wall?
Oh my God! Did you?
Oh my
Dude,
God. They fell out the window?
Dude.
Oh my God!
Where did they go? Where did they go?
I don't know.
They fell down pretty hard. It's
Destination fucked.
Yeah,
they were wasted. Did they just die? Crazy? Yeah, I don't know. No, he's okay.
I've seen a video once where there were like these two girls. They were sitting on like one of those I don't know what you call them, but they're like this little like shelf thing that's outside a window, but it's not strong enough to hold human hold like a human body on it. And there were these two girls that are sitting on it, and then the thing collapses and they fall. That was like, yeah, I know.
Wow.
So this one's called He Didn't Learn the First Time.
What?
Just for that Easter tradition.
Oh. That was his head.
Awful.
Okay, and he's okay.
That was his
Just
head.
a slight concussion, but he's all right.
Damn.
This is way out of order.
What? What the? Is he wearing a raincoat?
Yeah.
With a shield. Oh God, Kit. He's got like the lizard dino thing on his raincoat. Oh my God. Oh, look at them. The little bulldogs.
Bulldogs.
Oh my goodness.
This is one also out of order. How did I get Pet Zone all the way out here?
I don't know, man.
How did that happen?
Step 1. Get the dog into the bathtub.
I refuse.
I'm
I
going
resist.
to assume by the sounds of it that I don't need to tell you what breed of dog she is. This is Link, and if you didn't get the message, she is in fact dying.
Oh my god.
First, I give her an acid bath. And then I towel dry her with sandpaper. After that, she made sure to let my neighbors know that I slaughter huskies for a living.
She does not like that blow dryer.
Despite all the drama, clipping her nails and shaving out her paw pads was okay. But God forbid I de-shed her with the equi-groomer. She leaves me a generous tip, and now she's just happy to know that she's still alive.
Nice. Very funny. Very funny.
Beautiful.
Very funny.
Renting and returning 10 books a day from my local library while subtly increasing the size of my cranium with latex and makeup until they say something. I gotta zoom out. There he is. Isn't that good?
Dude, that head of yours getting big.
That's
Stop
really
reading
funny.
all these books.
Yep, my brain's getting so big I can't even take it. I'm really exercising. Jesus, that's
8 head.
Funny. That's really. It looks like a light bulb. Holy crap!
You got a big old head.
What do we got here? I don't think
this is last one before bangs. I think.
Okay.
And action.
Without further ado, I am the LA Beast, and I'm about to personally find out whether or not hot ice is hot or cold by sticking
hot ice.
My entire hand into this giant jar of sodium acetate dryhydrate.
Wait, what? Why?
Do
Why? No.
Have a good day.
Not a good day. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh my god. Okay,
What?
well, I went to the urgent care. I told the doctor what happened, and he had absolutely no sympathy for me.
That can't be real. That can't be real, man.
Dude, did he really? Wow.
No, that can't be real. By the way, I actually am looking at the article where Bam got arrested. You know what? I mean, he is so lucky he has at least some people around him that do. Once he loses all those people that are around him, he's again.
He's going to be in jail. Yes.
Yeah.
Jail.
Being like a dolphin?
All right, this is insane. He's in Chicago.
God damn. God damn. I'll be honest. She's been laughing. There it is. Okay. I heard it in the green room. And I'm like, what the f? Yeah. Yeah. Holy shit. You just never worked on that, huh? You just never had a good friend to be like, you know. Yeah. No, it's good. It's too early. That's what it sounds like, right? What's your name, Miss? Hi, Connie. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you. I'll be honest with you, it's going to happen a few more times where I say some shit about you and your laugh, but I want you to know that I love your laugh. We all love your laugh. Let's clap for Connie.
There you go.
Okay, Connie, that's cool. Zany's Chicago.
Great spot.
That was
Great
Zany
spot.
Chicago.
Great
for
spot.
sure. All right, here we go with some bangs.
Right.
We always close the show with some bangs.
Yeah, we
Jay.
end things here.
Now here we go.
And
This
action.
is about to blow the honeydew up. And there it goes on fire.
Hi, I'm Johnny Knoxville, and this is called The Honeydew.
Uh-oh.
Check out The Honeydew by Ryan Sickler.
Damn, Skippy, I'm ready.
Okay.
Oh!
Damn. His shoe's still on fire.
Dude.
Damn. That's pretty funny. Okay.
I thought so. And this one's good.
Kaboom is all it says.
We'll do this.
Nice.
And action.
No.
Oh, don't stand in front of there.
Don't
No.
stand in front of it, you dummy.
No.
Yeah, you wanna.
No, no, no.
Dummy. Dummy. Dummy.
Oh, we all knew that was coming. We knew that
Dummy.
was coming.
I know what happened. I know what happened. Here's the thing. Okay, so they put the firecracker in there, and if it's one of those big, if it's one of those big ones, chances are it flipped upside down to where that poosh happened, and then the main explosion, it exploded inwards. That's what happened. So it just shot inward into the cone. That's what happened.
Hold on. Let me go back to our thumbnail here. Then we got to go back to boats and hold on. Go to. Oh, right.
Yep.
Scenes and thumbnail. Just give me a second here. Unpin gallery. And then we go to show selfie.
One. Bing.
Wait, unpin. We have to unpin you.
Unpin.
Pin. Boom. And
What?
3
There it
shots.
is.
Boom. See? Indy's got this thing down. Like, it takes a minute
you
to figure
doing
this
it.
shit out. But okay. So, see, slideshow on. Okay.
There you go.
Follow Kit. This is our wrap up, like, kind of reminding people what the hell they need to do and what's going to be happening on INN. And also follow Hardlands Media at Hardlands Media on YouTube, Twitter, Patreon, Rockfin, Rumble. We got them on all places, right? Weekdays at 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern time. And whenever I'm available, I'll be in chat also modding and hanging out and watching Kit doing stories.
Rock and roll. Rock and roll.
All right, next, we also have this week on INN. We've got Monday alternative angle with Crab and Chris. We've got American Tradition with Jesse, Jet, and me.
It's an American tradition.
That's right. Wednesday night we've got INN News with Reef and Colin. Thursdays are who knows what night, if anything. But Friday night with Tar Reed's got Ray McGovern, which is really exciting. That's a big get. I know he was on with Kim Iverson Friday. And then Sunday night, we'll be back here for How Do We Miss That next week. And then finally, don't forget, indiemedia.today for the Substack article. The one that we read tonight, and subscribe to indiemedia.today so that when we do daily updates, and I've got Hardlands videos in there and all different kinds of videos. About once a day, I do a 6-pack, and then I try to either put out a clip or a live stream alert or something or a cross post. Been trying to put out 2 to 3 a day lately. So definitely subscribe to indiemedia.today and jessejet.bandcamp.com. Subscribe to Jesse.
And yes, Kasami Kate, I will be getting up tomorrow morning too. So yes, I will be up and early with all of you with some nice coffee and some stories for all of you to yell at and scream about, because that's what we're all about here at Hardlands Media. Starting your morning righteously angry and furious.
And if you're in the DC area on Tuesday, 4 p.m., April 11th, in front of the Justice Department, we're going to be protesting. They're going to be protesting against the 4 year since they took Julian Assange from the Ecuadorian embassy in London and put him in Belmarsh. And we're going to be there's going to be some speeches. I know Anya Parampil, Max Blumenthal, John Kiriakou, and Garland Nixon have committed to go. Misty is driving down from Ohio. Shout out to Misty for organizing this, as she's incredible as always. And then United for East Palestine. We cannot forget these people. They're fantastic. I love them. They have a Facebook group. Follow United for EP. They're trying to organize a summit, an online summit, I believe, for Saturday the 15th, where there's going to be a bunch of experts and personalities and everyone there to try to raise money and keep the pressure on and awareness high about what's happening there. There's too many people that don't know what's happening. Shout out to Bess, Millennial Splaining, member of INN, who I reached out to, who I spoke to. We had a nice DM conversation yesterday morning, and she knew nothing. She's like, I've been completely disconnected from politics and news and everything just for my head mentally. Like, any idea what's happening in East Palestine with the derailment? She's like, no. I'm like, oh my God, you've got to check this out. So I started to send her some stuff. She's like, holy shit, this is unbelievable. Between that and the Substack, that was just one day's worth of news. And she's already like, I can't take this anymore. I've got to go. I'll see you later. Oh God. We depress everyone with our news, which is why we come here for How Do We Miss That? And we do boats. And this way, hey, this is our universe right here. Independentleft.media. That's our link tree. You can get to all of our links. Indie Left News, that's our news site. And we're going to have to talk about that next week. But Indie Left News, the host, is shutting down as of the 20th of April. And we're working on finding a new solution around how we're going to do the news articles. We're going to continue doing the Substack at Indie Media Today every day. That's not going to change. But IndieLeft.news is going to change. And then our shows, how do we miss that? Indie's Tech Tips, Friends of Indie Left. And again, I'm looking forward to showing that off. That's going to be good. Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, I'll give Kit a chance. If there's anything else you want to plug, real quick.
Absolutely. Well, first, I want to give a shout out to Jimmy Dore for having me on the show. Shout out to Nick from RBN for having me on the show. And then obviously shout out to you, Indy, and Reef for having me on your show as well. Heartlands Media is live every Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central. There's a lot of big things happening, folks. And I just wish everyone a very peaceful new year. I mean, obviously, this year has been pretty tough on me. It was the loss of my grandpa. It's my first Easter now without him. And it's just, it's just been pretty rough. And, I thought I was coming to terms with it, but, he passed away in February. And it's still a fresh wound that I'm still kind of getting over. It's you think you can get over it quick, but not really. It's still tough. Still tough to deal with. So I want to thank my community for its support, especially in February when all that stuff was going down. So you guys have been awesome. Everyone in independent media is awesome. I urge everyone to please support all independent media. Double check that you're still subscribed because the YouTube censorship is all too real.
Yep. Absolutely. And so for tonight, this is perfect timing. This is Indy, and I've got Reef. I'm going to say to keep questioning everyone's motivations, and Reef, as always,
keep listening to what little birds have to tell you. Good night, friends.
I think I liked it better being blind, when I couldn't read between the lines, and when I couldn't see the cracks in the structure that lay bare before me the whole time. I think I liked it better back when I suspended disbelief and swallowed pride. I thought I knew the difference in the red from the blue, but they both bleed us so dry. They both bleed us so dry.
My favorite songs don't hit the same way. I get to the end of a 4-minute track and I'm only looking back thinking, what did they